So this is my secondary resistance, right? This is my secondary structure. So the idea is quite simple, but it's complicated at the same time because yes, we have a daily from yesterday that closed like a rejection from the downside, but this daily give entire week filter. We are trading at previous areas of rejection, and we need to understand that today with the election day, price can behave a little bit choppy. And this morning, basically, we have the 4-hour candle from London volume closing like a rejection. The problem that I have here is that yesterday I had exactly the same kind of candle with London volume. So today is a little bit kind of tricky and delicate the situation here. Why? Because I know that at this point, price. Give me 1 second. Yeah. So the tricky situation here is because of the election. So maybe we get a steady move to the upside to retest previous areas of resistance, but depending on how price behave at the secondary structure here, right? We may see that correction and that daily getting its own retest. This is your daily high. This, for the current daily, that's your daily high. Can we get there? Like it's not much. It's roughly 30 pips in there. Can we get there to retest the daily? And that daily is something that can be at this point something that is looking like a continuation to the downside because we had the entire week fill from previous daily closing bearish there. Can this daily revisit its own high, the 1676? Start pulling that liquidity, and can we go to the final frontier? At this point, this is the most dangerous zone to trade. The 1680, basically 1680, 1682. But if we have enough momentum, then that means that the 4-hour candle from New York session will be closing like a king outside this area here, outside the 76, because this is the daily high. If we have a monster candle that can engulf all this, because something that we need to see on price action, something that we need to pay attention on a daily basis is where do you have the bigger candles? Is this fair enough for you as a confirmation that the move is to the downside, or do you want to trust the kind of volume you have here? So why not, if you want to trust the higher time frames, then what you need to understand is if we have enough volume for the upside move today, the candle that we're currently in, that candle that is trading currently, that candle can easily engulf all this zone over here and close like a king. The moment you have something like that, a new candle, 9:30 NYSE session, the tricky situation, like I said, is that we have election today. The 9:30 pull back, and that 4-hour candle can easily give you a massive move to the upside there. If that doesn't happen today with this session, then we need to be really careful, because all these things right here, I will start to believe that these heavy moves to the upside on the first week of the month is giving me exactly what it gave me on the previous month. And the same, if I had to trust the same way that I trust the higher time frame structure, I will have to trust that this is just a plain and simple pullback before the continuation. And this 4-hour candle from London volume is basically what this candle did yesterday as well. Just a heavy push to retest previous areas of resistance, and the moment price is turning bearish again, then I will have to believe that we're going back down to the target to the downside, 1660. This is the most strong area of contention there, the 1660. But I don't want to see that. What I want is from now on, price, basically, price. What I want to see from now on is price respecting the previous, the current low of this candle here, and the deepest pullback here is basically this area here, the 67. When you pull up the 15-minute candles here, so you pull up the 15-minute candles in here, you had a previous structure, right? So if this is a valid fake out, which the way that is looking like a valid fake out, this candle, massive move to the downside, correcting more than the 50% of that candle. At the break of that candle, you can close your eyes and buy. Obviously, you will need a lower time frames candles there to give you that idea, okay, how big the move can happen. From there, all you need to understand is when you have the rejection, this is the rejection candle, right? Now, when you have price action being nice and easy. Every 5-minute candle will need to create a new higher and respect the low of the previous, and a new high and respect the low of the previous, and so on and so on and so on. So at this point, the most interesting structure that I have is this one right here. The fake out is coming from the 1667, and I'm okay. The same that yesterday happened with the New York volume, going back to retest the session low. At that point was the COMEX open here, that the one that gave you the close like a heavy reaction. If we come back to this area today because of the elections, or maybe tomorrow with ASEAN session, London session tomorrow, if we come back to this area here, then for you will be really easy to target the 1660. But at this point, the main idea is how can price behave at this 73? Because what I need is price closing out above the 73, so I can target this area of rejection. In here, you need to close most of your position, maximize your profits in this area here, because this was a previous area of rejection, and this is the daily high. This basically can give you exactly the same, another rejection from there, and price just going back to close below this area. But if we have a closing, closing in this area here, price, create a pullback and then goes there and doesn't respect that area, man, it's gonna be a massive move to the upside. That's gonna be the safest play today. In this area, this one right here will be most likely. The moment you have a close outside that area, it's okay to pull back to those areas. But the overall picture will be looking to the upside. And this is basically this area here can easily be the lowest point for the weekly candle. But at this point, everything is tricky, because we may see random moves here and there, and price action being a little bit of a mess in here. So be aware, like I said on the daily outlook today, is a little bit tricky because of the election. We may see, random moves here and there. So if you can lower your risk, don't, since last night, basically, when I took that position, I lower my risk immediately, and I had my stop loss pretty tight. It was a pretty tight stop loss. It was like 9 pips in a stop loss there, and I was counting the spread as well. So it was a good idea to try, to test it out. It was a good idea to target this area here. It didn't happen. I got stopped out. I was not planning to stay up the whole night just to see the where price is going. But the one that you guys, I don't know what you guys did this morning, but this was your support. If the candle pulls back first to retest that high and break that low, you can go for it. This is your first target. Leaving that area there, then you have basically this area to target. But price giving you this, when you have this specific reaction, you need to be out of a sap of that on that trade. And you may consider to change your bias, because overall, this was a plain and simple pullback to previous structure, and the moment price is closing back inside the range, you can go for it. Let's say you're not too aggressive, right, in trading. You don't need to take the first entry here, because price can break, goes there, and continuation to the downside. Obviously, you have the lower time frames as confluence, the 5-minute candles, and so on. But if this is this volume, you know that this is a London volume already, then you're expecting how the 4-hour candle can close, and something that can, that can create in a 30-minute candle resistance somewhere here. If you see price leaving that area, you can as well consider. The only problem that I have here, like I said, is trading toward this area. Trading toward this area is dangerous. Trading to here, not that dangerous, but trading toward this area here, yes, because this can take a lot of time to, to give you that close above the secondary structure. This, it's okay. This can be considered as a pullback before the continuation. I was, just playing a little bit in here to retest that resistance and be done with it, because it's a must to secure profits on days like today. It's a must to secure your profits, 10, 15, 20 pips, be done. Hyper scalping there and be done, because price may not give you those steady moves that we are, we're used to see, like the ones from yesterday. Crazy. That rejection, that later on, I was like, I should have considered, when that candle closed like this, I should have considered that trade. But in total honesty, one single candle trading against a 4-hour candle that is bullish from London, this candle doesn't mean anything. You need more than 1 or 2 candles there to counter trend something that is looking heavy for the upside move. But it is what it is, So from now on, it will be really interesting if we're gonna have enough momentum or we're gonna have another shopping session for New York. What was the trade that you guys took this morning, Raj?
Basically what you said there. So we had yesterday's daily low, and we had some more liquidity. So we had Monday's London low and Monday's Asian low and yesterday's daily low sitting there. So there was two options we discussed. One was the impulsive move breaking the daily low for your quick 20 pips, which I didn't take that, but that actually worked out. And then on the 4 hour, when the bar broke, it actually, there's a 4 hour fair value gap which tapped exactly 50%. So I took a buy from 1666, and I think Akshay waited for the 30-minute bar, which basically got a lot of liquidity and engulfed the previous, and he took the break of that high.
So in here at the break of the 30 high?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I think that's what he did. Yeah, so I came in lower down here, so where you got the wick, I got it at 1666 because that wick there's a 4 hour imbalance, and that was exactly 50% of the imbalance. So I took it from there. He took it on the break. So yeah, if I draw on here for you,
give me 1 second.
If you go to the 4 hours, so you've got that there, and there you go, 50% tapped into it. So I took it from there. He took it on, and that 30-minute it's got a big liquidity tail, and it engulfed the previous 30. So I think he took it on the break of that 30. But just going back to what you're saying, is the secondary structure at 1673.48? Okay, right, because the daily high is actually Asian high as well.
Yes, this one right here.
Yeah. So that's what we did this morning. It was quite a productive morning, actually. Yeah, it worked out well. So I closed most of it at 1673, and I've got a runner going now. So if we do get up the daily high, well and good. So yeah, no, it was good fun this morning. Yeah.
Yeah, that's good, man.
If you wake up early, you can join us.
Yeah, I know. But last night I went to sleep really late. It was like I will say like 11 p.m., which it's already late for me.
Yeah, it's gonna be late.
But yeah, man. I mean, no, I know that London sometimes gives a nice setups. Yeah.
Yeah, but the move this morning, because I think I wrote in the Slack because Mohammed mentioned about the previous low over here. So I thought maybe with London Open, we'll get the immediate push, get the 20 pips, and then off we go. But it took a while. It eventually did happen, but it just took a while. I think London Open is somewhere over here, but yeah, it took a while. But no, we mapped it out. We talked through the trade well in advance before it happened. And I think some of us managed to catch it. So yeah, it was a good session.
That was good, man. That was great, then. Yeah.
Yeah, you can get a nice opportunity in a learner session if you wake up early. But for me, I was already awake. So for India, it's like a 1:30 p.m.
Oh wow.
Lunchtime.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kerwin, brother.
Hey, how are you, my brother?
Today, Mr. Sonai and Mr. Akshay, they was in London session. Both were amazing, really.
Beautiful.
They share a lot of good things, really, today.
That's awesome. I love to hear that, brother. I'm happy you liked it.
Yes.
That's the whole, that's the whole purpose. Remember to share ideas.
Yes.
Remember to share ideas as well. So don't be shy, even if the idea doesn't make sense for somebody, but if it makes sense for you, feel free to share ideas. Because
I request to Akshay, please come daily on this time.
Yeah, obviously, man, the setup I told you, if I see the
Yeah.
daily close nicely, then we can again
Yes.
get a nice entry in the London session.
Yes. 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 He will
No.
make me trader. Akshay will make me trader.
No, no, not just me. If you're getting an, if you're asking question every day, you will eventually get a
Exactly.
good opportunity and learn from the group.
Exactly.
Yes. Yes. I'm just appreciating, brother. Appreciating.
Yes. Exactly. I mean, the more you, I mean, don't get me wrong. There's, sometimes there's people who will believe, oh, it's a silly question because this is, I've never, I don't know what this means or whatever. But there's no silly questions. I mean, you're acting silly because you think it's a silly question, but not that you need to be thinking, oh man, these people will laugh at me because I'm asking something that may be simple. Maybe simple for somebody who's already whatever 2-3 years in trading, but for someone who's just starting, may not be so simple. So always being mindful and ask, as long you do it properly, why not? The reason
Yes,
I don't
Kerwin, you
stream on
gave
YouTube is
me.
because I don't want to
Yes.
be dealing with a dumb question from YouTube, because in YouTube you're gonna find everything, every kind of person, and that's why. But
You gave me a lot of confidence, Kerwin. Really, I am asking whatever in my heart. I am asking from you.
that's good, man.
Thank you, bro. Thank you.
That's the whole purpose of this group, to give build confidence in trading and to give support. So yeah, man. Yeah, this is gonna be a quite choppy session in my opinion. Choppy session. Roughly 5 minutes for the hourly candle closing there, and look at that hourly there. It's not doing anything.
Kavin, I think yesterday we also discussed that if the daily is not able to push into the upside, we may just going to range in that daily zone.
Yeah, and you know that actually yesterday with the closing that we got on the daily, I was, to be honest, I've never expected that entire week fill on that daily there. That daily was closing more like a rejection, and it's rejecting previous reactions on. So I was like, you know what, this is gonna be just a plain and simple pullback, most likely the 70, and from there a plain and simple rejection. I didn't believe that we're gonna entire week fill and break below that previous daily low. But market will give you the ideas
Yes.
later on.
Yeah. So if you see now here, this was like a rejection area zone for daily, and if this was a upper side rejection area zone.
Yeah.
So now if this candle is closing in between, that's a difficult part for us because price may just range till CPI, and after CPI we may either get upside or the downside move.
Yeah. What's your take on CPI? Do you think a CPI will make us break outside this resistance finally, or you think that CPI will revisit those lows on monthlies? What do you think on CPI so far for what we have right now?
So for CPI, let's say the today's candle is closing below this area. I will be looking for sells. I will be looking for to the downside, because if the price is not able to sustain in this area, it's just a clear indication that the price is just grabbing liquidity on this candle. But if the today's candle is closing like again rejection from the bottom side and closing like a bullish candle, it's we may just visit that 1710 also at CPI.
Yeah, I think the one that needs to give us an idea here is London. London needs to give us a 4-hour candle closing above the 1680s or below the 1660s. 4-hour candle from London closing above or below that zone. It will be an amazing session for the ones who trade London. Remember that if you have a 4-hour candle body closing above 1680 at the break of that high, or a 5-minute candle that can give you a bullish close, go for it. If you have a closing below this strong area of support, this weekly, especially because this daily respected literally the previous daily, the Friday candle. And if we see price leaving this area, this was the same that happened on the first week of October there. pull back the first week, and then the bloodbath, just plain and simple continuation for the rest of the session. So be aware that something like that can happen for CPI basically. Like if price doesn't respect this area, CPI can easily give you this whole move to the downside. And at first I was thinking, if price came to this level here for the third time in the same basically in the same year and it's almost the same quarter, it's because we'll bleed. And instead of that, just give you that massive rejection and the weekly candle closing like a king, rejecting those previous areas. So at that point, I wanna believe this is enough confirmation that the price is not doesn't like trading in these levels here. So from now on, kind of CPI, yes, having a kind of a move to the downside, this 43 area when you pull up the dailies here, this previous reaction here. This is kind of the trade that I want to see for CPI. CPI going there and rejecting. But man, the last two CPIs has been amazing drops, heavy drops. It's like it's like an avocado falling out of the tree, and it's something that it doesn't stop. It just goes and goes and goes down and goes, lower and lower and lower. So this is kind of the only contention that I have as where price is right now. This is the only contention I have for CPI. Like CPI going there and rejecting from there. Other than that, if CPI doesn't respect these previous areas of rejection, it's gonna be a bloodbath again. And this was just plain and simple pullback on a monthly. The thing in here in the monthly is that the previous monthly did kind of a beautiful retest almost to the high of the previous monthly in the first week of October. Now, this monthly here, I want to see that move still going to the 1730s, and then at that point I will say, okay, this is it. This is the retest. Having 4-hour candles closing resistance and confirmation resistance from there will be key for me to look for the continuation to the downside. Other than that, this area here can be just the low of the year, and we're not gonna come back to those levels to retest them. 1640, 1642 basically is the contention area. You can trade below the 1660 to the 42s and 180 pips in there and be done with it, because that area can give you plenty of headaches there.
Kevin, if you go to the monthly again and draw the previous monthly 50%, we can clearly see we almost retraced like a 50% of that previous
the wick
monthly.
or the candle?
The body.
Oh, the like this?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, so it's like we already retraced, and let's say this was like a 30-minute candle. So based upon that, this was like a previous area of rejection, all the rejection, and this is like a retesting that area to push to the downside. But obviously we cannot just take entry based upon that. We need a confirmation on the daily as well as the 4-hour candle.
Based on market and market structure, the candle that will give me the hint on how to look for the moves to the downside at these specific areas of resistance on dailies, for example, this is previous areas. So the idea in here is having a 4-hour candle with massive rejection and a body, that something that at some point is looking heavy for the upside, heavy. That can happen with news, especially like today. That can happen something like this, and all of a sudden that candle closing more like a rejection in there. And at that point, the retest is done to the key level. The rejection is coming from 1699.50, let's say, or 16 or the 1700, the actual key level. And the moment you have another pullback there and price leaving the low of that 4-hour candle and price action, you can easily have something like this. When you see those kind of candles on a higher time frames, it's really easy. Let me see if I can find that was on April. That was the first weekly outlook on April. So April, the 4-hour candles from April, and I was looking for the 2000, I think it was the 2000. There you have it, this one right here. The 2000. When you mark the key level there, 2000 key level. It's roughly below the key level. But when you have that impulsive move, and this is a daily, heavy move to the upside, and that candle just correcting completely. This one right here, breaking the low, and it's gone. So since then, and this is when I come back to the charts, and when I see this, to be honest, there's setups and there's certain times in trading that you regret for not being active watching the chart. This move right here, even on Raja's streaming back in the days, I think price was trading somewhere here. Or somewhere here, and I told them, I was with Jivan, Raja, and a lot of guys in there. If we go back to the 2000 and we start rejecting and having a 4-hour candle that instead of closing a strong candle on 4 hours from those areas, that will give you enough information to start just looking for the next to the next key level on gold. And this move right here, this move was quite interesting because it happened, with the London volume. Boom, boom, boom to the upside, and then New York session started to correct that move, the move right there, and this candle here. If you find this kind of a pause in the market, a small little tiny candle here, this one right here is the London candle. This is the London volume. This can happen in the 30-minute candles, that you have a 30-minute candle closing bullish, creating that kind of support. The next candle sometimes breaks the low, goes to fish for liquidity, breaks the high, and then revisit its own low. When that happened, is literally that's free money in the market. And it was I was like, man, for real, I missed the whole move in there, and I didn't manage to catch anything. Sometimes what I tend to do is to set alerts at certain price points. And for example, at that point, 1999. 0.50 is basically what I can easily had an alert or had a pending order there, but price didn't give me that specific move, and I was like, there's something fishy about it. We may come back to that area, especially at this specific area of support. But it was a classic move coming from those specific key levels. And when price goes to those levels, to the 2000, you can easily hold positions for 1,000 pips because it's rejecting key levels. After that massive fake out there, the main key level here, because this area and macro and this area, the 70 there is rejecting previous yearly highs in there. So that becomes interesting for you to go, okay, institutions already grab their entries, loading their guns and all the stuff. And what is the key level that makes sense below that rejection there? The 2000 psychological is a strong key level, the 2000. But it will happen, it will happen that at any given point you're going to have those massive daily rejections, and you're going to miss the move because you're not in front of your computer on those specific. Look at another daily, heavy daily there. When you have those specific candles, man, go for it, because if you are up for the for when the move is happening, go for it, because you most likely you're gonna have a banger there. It's gonna be an interesting move if we have something closing bullish outside the 80s, not only today but tomorrow. If we have something closing below the 60, then it's a no-brainer. This was just a plain and simple pullback on the first week of the month, and we have to trade what we see and not what we think. And what we see here is that every time the gold tries to pull back, create the resistance, confirmation resistance, and the continuation happens. So why not? If today we have that daily already broke the daily low. This is the daily I never wanted to see in here. But if that daily already broke the low, close bearish below this area, and tomorrow we have CPI below this area, then this was the pullback on the monthly, on the first week of the month before the continuation. Kind of the same that happened here, the first week of the October there. And then the resistance, confirmation resistance at the break of that area, boom, 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 to the downside. It just that requires a lot of discipline and a lot of understanding in the higher times, and just to hold a position, for a little bit more than just 50 or 100 pips sometimes, because the pullback happened there. So yeah.
Kevin, I think whenever there is a big move going to happen, the fake out will be going to happen at the NY open. Just price try to push to the other direction, and then just come back and close back in the range and just going to bleed after that.
Yeah.
Right. So you said that at that 2000 area. So that big move happened just before that. The
Yeah.
1 hour close above the resistance, and next 1 hour just break that high, and then 30-minute close back in the range and just bleed after that.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, this is a no man's land, to be honest. This this range over here. Eco. Here. Oh, Gabriel is here. What's the plan for today, Gabriel? Oh, he left. Okay. Yeah. It's gonna be a long wait.
So Kevin, at the London session, we break below the daily low here, but I was hesitant to take entry just because I didn't get the stop loss there, because that candle did not create a top wick.
Oh, this one, this one right here, it was just a straight drop.
Yeah, so I was waiting for some kind of like creating a top wick, but it did not create, so that's why I didn't enter. I got the buys, but it just I thought we can create a little bit top wick, so I can just keep my stop loss, because this stop loss was like a 35 pip stop loss above here.
Oh, okay, I see. Yeah, I see what you mean.
And we cannot use 5-minute candle at
No.
the London.
No, it's dangerous. You know, the kind of the option there is in the high of this 5 and breaking that low right there. But obviously you need a push to retest these areas, and then a drop. Yeah, straight drop, no top wick in there in the 15 minutes.
Yeah.
And this is, this is the hourly candle, the opening of the hourly candle, so makes it really dangerous. Yeah, only that momentum, right? That's the only thing with momentum wicks at filled. But even if you miss the move now, did you consider price trading inside this area was too much of a stop loss for you? Something that can start leaving that area and then using maybe the low of this area as your stop loss.
So usually I try to take entry based upon 50 minutes on London session. At least,
Okay.
I mean, the usually volume is low in the London session. Obviously, last month is a different thing, but usually the volume is like a low volume. Just price is moving like a 15, 20 pips.
Yeah.
I got the buys from the when the 30-minute close, but it just I wanted to take entry there, but the stop loss was like a massive stop loss for me for
Too much of a
short
stop.
position.
Yeah, massive.
No,
but
so for that one, I took yesterday. I also said I keep my stop loss 50% here.
Oh, okay.
So here, like entry.
Yeah, sometimes when you have a certain fake out, let's say, you need to, you can lower your risk, and you can lower your time frames. So what happens sometimes is that when you pull up the lower time frames, if you had a break to the downside, right? This is your fake out. So immediately the 1 minute candles, the range for the bottom of the range for the 1 minute is this one right here. So price closing inside this the area that gave you the breakout. In this case, this is the candle. 1 minute and lower time frames can pull back to this area. Not only at that specific price point, price later on can go there and come back and start creating that kind of rejection from these areas. So it's something that you can consider, right? During London, if you have enough volume, you will notice London have enough volume. And what you can consider, if this is a fake out price trading inside this area, then this rejection needs to be respected. Sometimes price can trick you and give you a little bit more of a drop, but all of a sudden the candle can drop more, but the body of the candle is the one that is giving you the idea. And at that point, that's kind of the safest option for you to when you're lowering the lower times there.
So you are considering like that 5 minute, just move little bit upside. Okay, got it. Okay, so this was like a breakout candle. You can say that if the price is not respecting this high,
exactly.
We can look for.
It's because it's going the other way. And then in the lower times, and what you had in the lower times as a reaction, that's your contention. You need price breaking that rejection area there, and it's a good one. You know, this one, for example, from last night, the 50-minute candle here from last night, the 50-minute candle. This candle here is the breakout candle. This candle closing like a bullish candle. Yes, this candle is retesting that low, but until that body of that candle close, you have the idea, oh, it's a continuation and I need to be scared because the continuation makes sense. But when that candle there reject that level, and then all this area here becomes your contention area, so you don't need to risk more than this. Price leaving that area makes more sense for that continuation toward this area here. Price can come back to retest this area. And if it's retesting that area and not respecting, it's because can go for more. That's why my stop loss from last night was literally at the low of that candle there. You know, I didn't want to leave more than that as a breather for that candle. Why? Because it's okay. This is my daily low, and the daily low can be retested, but not getting, you know, price doesn't need to exceed, because if price is not respecting the daily low with volume, I can look for, you know, I don't have any business risking 10, 15, 20, because price can go up to 20 pips below that daily low at that point. With enough volume, this is the move. And I don't have any business holding a certain position just because I want to be in that trade. No, when I'm catching bottoms of those areas there, my stop loss needs to be pretty tight, because if that low is the low of the day, price cannot come back to that low of the day. It needs to, you know, just retest a little bit previous areas of rejections, for example, like this one right here, or this area here, and no more than that. Price needs to give me that continuation to the upside from there, because I'm trading the you know, the stop losses at the daily low. But if because I want to see a continuation in my way, I will have 20, 50, 30 pips in a stop loss, then that's not trading. That's just, you know, guessing. My thing is not guessing. My thing is this thing needs to work this way or it won't work. And for me, like if I had to look for a long position, whatever, if I take it there, if I take it like a cowboy somewhere there, I'd rather risk it right there with this kind of target than just leaving 20, 24, because price breaking the daily low can go for 20 pips more. Imagine if I had to, if my entry is there, risking 20 pips more below that area, because 20 pips below that area is roughly there. There's no point for me, especially if I enter there with more confirmation. There's no, that's a no for that to consider. But when you have you know, when you have confidence in certain trades, you say, well, you know, I'm gonna risk it for the biscuit. I know that what's the worst thing that can happen here? Getting slippage, like, you know, price all of a sudden having enough volume, especially when I'm sleeping and London can come back to that area. News can happen or heavy volume there, and getting a slippage of whatever 5 pips or more, it's okay. That's why I lower my risk. When I will be placing orders overnight, and I'm gonna let those orders the same that I do with pending orders at certain key levels, I will lower my risk. Why? Because I'm not planning to monitor that position. I will lower my risk and I will have a bigger reward. Why? Because something that I can start with 0.30 in risk, right? If I can do 1 to 5 as a target, I don't need to use, let's say, a 1%, a 2%. I can easily lower my risk to 0.30 and play with you know, with house money, 0.30%. And when you multiply that thing on automatic and making 1.5%, sometimes that we in the New York session, I'm not able to make the 1.5% because my trading is not that aggressive. My account is fair enough for me to just trade 1% sometimes 0.5 if the setup is not as good as I wanted. And sometimes when the setup is good enough, and then I'm gonna start clicking, you know, the 1% on one click trade for 2-3 times in a row, because I know that I'm kind of looking for a good reward at that point. But I trust that it's a A+ setup. But if the setup is not with enough confirmation, I'm not gonna be jumping here with a 1% or 2% of my account. Hell no, especially when the stop loss is pretty tight. I'm just gonna make it so easy for price to come back the area, stop me out, and you know, leave me with a 1 or 2% down for the night. So that's not an option for me. The safest is go lower in risk and big reward. You can have 2, 3, 4, 5 days of losing streak, you know, but if you're cutting your losses short, the moment you have a banger, that banger will cover all the losses that you had in one single trade. You can cover all maybe 3, 4 losses. Why? Because the trade is good enough that the reward is there for you to consider and to hold that position for a long time. But when I'm sleeping, I don't like trading ascent session. It's just that sometimes the setups are there for me to consider. Look what price is doing in here. It's interesting. We are roughly to the 8:30. It's election day, so don't get too carried away. Like I said, makes sense to have a close inside this area, and then this area here will become your support zone, right? For that move to happen. This is just a too much of a pullback on a daily, but the target outside this area there is basically the daily high. You know, yeah. Today is a dangerous day to hold trades for a long time. You know, whipsaws can happen either direction, so be mindful, be really careful with it. Do you guys think that the congressional election will have big impact on gold? Yes, they always do. Election time is always dangerous. Not only at this time, because now they're not counting the votes right now. The votes will be count, you know, in the afternoon, and then the afternoon is when you may see a lot of volatility there. Yeah.
Just on the same topic here.
Huh.
When it was approaching the daily low, I was looking at this area here.
Give me 1 second.
Like
oh, right there?
Yeah.
Okay.
And I was thinking maybe because the stop loss was too big, maybe if I put a stop loss somewhere here to go for it. But then I was hesitant because of the 9 o'clock candle.
Uh-huh.
The 1 hour candle.
Yeah.
But what do you think of stop loss is not going halfway than what it should be in a situation like this?
Sometimes, if the range is worth it to consider, like if you're gonna hold like a champion there, I think the safest option is lower your risk, and you know, doesn't matter. You're basically you're planning for the long run on a certain idea, so you don't need to have, let's say, a 10 or 15 pip stop loss there, risking 1%. You can easily risk 0.5 and have 30 pips in a stop loss. And at the end of the trade, you may, you know, it's safer to have a bigger stop loss and make 0.5 or make 1% in return than having a pretty tight stop loss and just feeding the market. But depending the range that you have to trade at that point, sometimes it's risky. Even me, sometimes I don't take those trades in consideration. Like, for example, if that candle is moving in price like that, we have 2 more minutes, so don't get too carried away. If we have a crazy pullback, it's looking Gucci because the volume is looking good for the upside, especially the 4-hour candle from London. Now, that's 21. If the next candle pulls back in here and start breaking that high overall, this is my stop loss. But what happened if I want to plan with my, you know, for that trade, I know that a new pullback can happen on the 1 minute there. But if that 1 minute doesn't respect that area and doesn't respect this area of resistance, then I will have to consider closing 50% in there. And if I'm risking 1% using 20 pips in a stop loss, at the end of the trade, I don't want to get stopped out with the 1%. What I want is to kind of manage my risk. And if price is breaking the 50% of the breakout candle, then most likely I'll have to reduce my risk by 50%. And maybe something that I started risking 1%, I will end my trade only losing maybe 0.60, 0.70% of my original risk. So look at that thing. It's a dangerous one. It's gonna be most likely I mean, I don't want to say this, but the way it's looking, most likely it's gonna be a plain and simple continuation there. This 5 is not rejecting in the last 2 minutes, so that's a good sign. But remember, when you take in consideration an entry, you need the candle closing and then the next candle pull back and break the high.
But the range is getting smaller.
And smaller.
No.
Yeah, it's just that with momentum, you know that this daily high is not gonna get respected. That daily, after looking like a monster candle to the downside, look at that daily. How crazy is that daily? That squeeze on that daily there. So if that daily reverses its own high, it will take you toward this area here in no time. And this is when you need to to see the things before they happen. You say, well, the London volume is this, and all the bigger candles are to the left hand side are bullish. The ones that are smaller are the bearish ones. So I can play the odds that the 4-hour candle from today will engulf all this area here, so it can give me that continuation to the upside. Yeah. Thirty seconds. That's the 50%. That's kind of the maximum pullback for the 1 minute. And if this is the 1 minute that create the pullback there, the next 1 minute needs to respect this low. There's price is looking like there's a lot of volatility now in the session, so be careful with it. Yeah, that's your 1 minute low. That's the pullback. Election is always dangerous, so be careful with it.
Kevin, if you go to the 15-minute.
Yeah.
Okay. Just a little bit left side. Okay. So whole this area is like a rejection area.
Yeah.
So it's maybe just tapping that area and getting rejection. Obviously, we may just go to that daily high, but after closing this 30-minute, we may just get that pullback before if you really want to push to the upside. So maybe if this 30-minute is closing above this area, above this area, that's a good indication that we may just push to the upside. But now if that 5-minute is closing bearish, next candle can again come back a little bit lower in this area, and then again maybe this can be just breakout and then retest to push to the upside.
Yeah.
But if that 5-minute is closing like a strong rejection, then that's the problem. We are just coming back to that rejection area again.
Yeah. Yeah, no, this tricky zone in here. And news, I mean, the election day, it's a dangerous one. But at the same time, I don't want to sell gold today. Trust me.
No,
I have a bigger, usually election day gives the gold a boost. Unless Democrats win tonight. But overall, what makes more sense is just look for that continuation to the upside, man. Lower your risk. Don't get too carried away in here, but lower your risk. Most of the times, that's the safest option. And you'll have to pay the spread. Here's another thing. I don't know what broker you use, and I don't care what broker you use, but it doesn't matter whatever broker you're using, the spread will increase. Like if you're using Blueberry Market, most likely the spread will jump to maybe 1.52. If you're using Traders Domain, Dominion Market, any other broker, Black Bull most likely, then the spread from 1.8 to or 2 pips will jump to 3 and 4 most, most likely. So remember, you have to be willing to pay a big spread today. So don't think it's gonna be an easy one just to see the price moving steady and nice and easy. No, it's not gonna be the case. It's not gonna be the case. Yeah. That's a nice pullback. That's a nice pullback. Support, confirmation of support. From now on, this is kind of this one right here. This is the maximum pullback for those 1 minutes there.
Yeah, 30-minute is about to also close. So new 30-minute can again pull back a little bit and then it can push to the upside.
Yeah. Yeah.
And Kevin, do you think this is a problematic 1675?
It is, but with momentum, wicks get filled, and that 15-minute candle there already closed like a king outside this resistance. So you have a kind of a bigger probabilities are, trading is probabilities. If I had to trust price action, this has a higher probability to give you an entire wick fill there. The 5-minute candle here is just the first piece of information. Doesn't have a top wick. The key level there, the 75 is roughly there. It's rejecting, it looks like it's rejecting the key level, but at the same time, the 15-minute candle already closed bullish. So if we have enough momentum, this is, the 30-minute candle as well, close a strong bullish. So if there's enough momentum in the market, this 30 doesn't have much of a business pulling back to those areas there. It will give you entire wick fill first, and then it may be a rejection from there. But the 75 is a good key level, but based on the closing that I have on the 15 and the 30, it makes me believe that we're gonna continue pumping to the upside there. If I had to trust price action, but today is not the average day to trade, just so you know. Today you cannot trust the price action so easily. Even yesterday, I was, price action was quite simple, but the area we were trading was pretty strong. So that's why, some of the rejections that I got, I didn't trust the rejection I was getting from there. But today is it's a little bit simple. The idea continuation to the upside. And always, right, when you're trading something, you have to measure your risk. Let's say that candle is 33 pips in risk. If you have to enter somewhere there, you're risking whatever 50%, you know that your risk is whatever from this area here to this area is 20 pips. What happened if that candle is trading below this area, for example, below this area? Then that's not a valid trade. And you need to say, well, I'm gonna close my position. I don't like this because this is a complete mess. We are trading in a massive range in here. This area here is dangerous, so the moves can be short-lived at some point. Yeah. I think
So
I'll buy after
on
the
5-minute. Oh, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
So on 5-minute, so if you go to the 5-minute, so we can consider like this is as our breakout candle, that big candle.
Yes, this one right here, the big one.
Yeah. So price may be just retesting this area. So for that confirmation, we can just wait for bullish momentum on this one.
Close.
Yeah.
Then
we can look for that long position.
Exactly.
So at least we can get wick fill here, and if the momentum is strong, that daily high.
Yes, exactly. And in here, the kind of the range to trade is not that it's not that big. If you have to consider something, it's not that big considering the stop loss. The reward is not the best because we are trading in a range, but the risk at the same time is not that heavy on risk if you're planning long term, or wait for price just to break impulsive those areas. That's basically that's the basically this is the safest option. Let market do his thing, you know. Mo is looking for the after the 4-hour candle close, look for the 4-hour candle closing and then plan based on that 4-hour candle closing as well. It's just that based on what we have currently in the market, that 4-hour candle may give you just a heavy move to the upside, and then you may say, wow, man, I should have considered, even with low risk, whatever, planning that 4-hour candle can give me a retest to the daily high, right? So if I had to look for buys above this candle here, above this area, it's really, really risky. It's more, there's more risk involved, trading in here than playing from the low of the range. But the other option is just sit on your hands and don't do anything today. Just see what price action will, what price can do in here. It's like I said, today is not the day to hold positions forever. Can be nasty as kind of rangy zones in here. It can be nasty. So be careful. Having a bullish close somewhere here as a support candle, that's a good idea as well. Yeah, that's your breakout candle. Selection. Let me let this one right here. We're gonna see if price action is doing something here. But if that candle respect these areas here and is breaking this low, then what makes sense is continuation to the downside. This was your resistance, confirmation of resistance, push, respect this area first, and then start dropping, then it's heading downtown. But if if instead of that, what it happened is that retest this area, maybe a little tiny one in here, and start breaking this yellow line and close like a bullish, gives you a bullish close, then at the break of that bullish candle close, hopefully it's not that big on risk that you can consider the break of the candle, and you can target this and even higher. For me, it's looking more like an easier move to the upside than looking for sells to the gold. Roughly 90 pips, the high of that.
Oh no.
Morning. Oh, all right. You don't like this 4-hour candle so far, Mo? To trade the last 20 minutes, the last 15 minutes of that 4-hour? Risking 16 pips for price was there. No? Mo? Mr. Mo? Okay, no, to be honest, okay. All right. Because the worst case scenario here is that 4-hour candle, instead of closing bullish, to give you that flip last minute. It can happen. But it can be really rare to have that 4-hour candle from this kind of look that it has. Instead of closing bullish outside its own high already, to close like a rejection. This is something to consider.
I think we are creating that 5-minute support now.
Yeah. Yeah. That's roughly there. Yeah. Basically trading above the 1674.10, that can be a good option. Most of the times, the breakout candle low can be retested the low. Still 1 more minute. Hopefully that candle closed the way it is. A new one, pull back partial to this low, or maybe to this line over here, and breaking that high, breaking this high will be the option. But I really like the idea of the 4-hour candle just closing bullish from those areas. But you never know. So let's wait. Let's wait and see. Push, push, push. Okay. Apparently that support has been established with the retest to the previous areas of reaction. The first idea here, the first clue is, if you guys remember what happened on Tuesday previous week, Tuesday, Wednesday, with the news. After a heavy area of resistance, price closed outside the secondary structure. Then price came back to retest those previous areas there, and then start giving that kind of push to the upside. That was on Tuesday, I think it was, previous week. After me getting stopped out with the news on, it was the news at around 10 a.m. This is kind of the same scenario.
Kerwin, brother,
Yeah, mate.
are you in position? I have one question, by the way.
Uh-huh.
This support is created, right?
Mm-hmm.
So our if we are going to enter, so break off the high we should enter, or 50% come down and go back.
It's a little bit dangerous based on timing, because it's roughly 19 minutes for the 4-hour candle close. Think that kind of the safest idea was when price was pulling back to those areas, and from this area here, when you pull up the 4-hour candle, you could easily, say, well, what are the odds on this 4-hour candle? Can this 4-hour candle give me a bullish close, so I can risk the body of this candle 13, 16 pips in there and target, the daily high somewhere, something like this? What are the odds there? What makes this really dangerous is no fundamentals, because well, yes and no. The fundamentals, the election day, that's the one that makes this really tricky. You pay a bigger spread. There's going to be more volatility in the market at some point. So you may get stopped out in a matter of seconds, and you're like, what the heck is going on in here? Price action is telling you one thing, but the elections is the one that you need to be really careful. If you don't want to consider trading the probabilities in the market, trading with the higher time frame, so you have a bigger opportunity, a bigger chance to survive any pullback, then just don't do it, because the 5-minute candle sometimes and the 15-minute candle, they're not gonna be able to, they're not gonna make sense at some point. Like price already created that support. Breaking that high makes perfect sense to clear this area and to give you that retest to the current session high. This is your current session high. Impulsive entry at the break of this thing right here, and then you can say, well, the breakout has already happened. The retest to the breakout candle is already done. If price is leaving this area, price doesn't have any business going back to that area. How many pips I will be risking from there? 30 pips. So instead of risking 30 at those areas there, why not playing the odds with the 4-hour candle body and say, well, what are the odds? The 4-hour candle can flip bearish in the last 20 minutes, in the last 25 minutes before it closed. And that's when you play the odds with the higher time frames, and not trusting just the lower time frames there. But this candle breaking that high makes perfect sense to give you that confirmation that support has been established and a possible continuation to the upside, at least since this candle already closed outside the secondary sector, at least to retest this area there. But if you're not feeling confident about it, you know, just don't do it. Let market chill. Let the daily candle close today, or like Mo said, you know, just wait for the 4-hour candle closing, and you can play the odds with the 4-hour candle there. Yeah, I'm here in the outside, so I can activate my. Oh, no problem, brother. Marco, good morning, brother. What's the option in Magic Keys that doesn't let you take more than X rate? Why? What happened, Manuel? You're over trading?
Yeah, you know.
No, just delete Magic Keys, man. Just delete Magic Keys and just do your one-click trade. Close your eyes and boom, boom. No. Today is the day that you don't need to over risk or over trade. I'm surprised that after that heavy push, price just did a decent pullback, and you know, steady move there. Here is when you get like, man, at any given point, the moment I click my trade, the moment I click, I will get instant drag down because it's looking fishy. If it wasn't because of the election today, this is the perfect idea there to retest the daily high. Yeah. Confirmation of support.
And 15-minute is closing quite nicely. So let's see now.
Yeah. The 30-minute candle is still that's the one that makes me wonder if that 30-minute candle will manage to retest that high and finally break that high to retest that daily in one shot. And you know, because if price is leaving this thing right here, you don't need price just to stay in there forever, because that's what happened in the past in here. So if price is coming to this area, you want to see that 30-minute candle just blasting over, you know, 10 16 pips, because the thing is, this is why, you know, the range, oh, looks amazing, but look, 15 pips. So can be a dangerous thing just to think, oh, I'm gonna hold, but price living in that area is, you know, 1 minute, boom, 16 pips and be done. But do you have the ability to close your trades that quick, or you know, or you hesitate sometimes? And that's the tricky part, to consider the impulsive here. Yeah. Yeah, little by little. From now on, since the pullback is done to the breakout candle, this is kind of the maximum pullback for the current 5 or any other 5. Even the 15-minute candle here, that's the maximum pullback for the current 15 minutes. So, you know, if it's leaving that area and closing, this is a double fake out, and this candle engulfing the low of this candle here and closing bearish, because it's not the same in price action. Is not the same having that candle just to retest that low and close like this, for example, right? Now, if that candle, instead of retesting that low and closing like this, is closing like this, that's engulfing, and then price will have again another move to the downside. So it's different. When you see price action there, you need to be clever. You need to understand this is the deepest of a pullback, and that candle, yes, that candle can go there, but all of a sudden the body of the candle needs to close like a rejection. So the next candle, boom, a bullish one to the upside. But if that doesn't happen, instead of closing like this, engulfing this volume here, then price can pull back to that high over there, and overall at the break of that low is going to the downside. And that's when the 4-hour candle in the last 10 minutes, it can easily flip as a bearish candle, or at least to close like a nothing candle, bullish with a small body. But other than that, in price action, this low of this candle right here needs to be respected, and the high this candle needs to give you a sap, an answer on top of that 5-minute candle there, like this one right here. So yeah. One more minute. It's roughly 7 pips somewhere there. A little bit more. Yeah. 1 more minute. This high and the overall target is the daily high. If that daily, for any reason, we retest that daily will grab is grabbing enough liquidity to take us outside that 1680 today. That 5-minute candle doesn't like to reject those lows, so most likely it's gonna close like a bearish, a heavy bearish candle there. Nobody's in any trade currently. Nothing yet.
Yeah, I'm in buys.
Okay.
Still holding.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, the stop loss is nothing crazy. That 4-hour candle is looking healthy if you have to consider the 4-hour candle. Yes. Look at that close there. Holy. Look at that close. Oh my goodness. Yeah. If the pullback happened, actually, and then that candle's flipping bearish below this area close. I mean,
No,
depending your entry,
my
right?
stop loss is still below that candle.
Below this one or this one?
No, the last bearish candle. Yeah, there.
Oh, right here. Okay.
Because yeah, I'm out.
Okay. Well, I mean, it's nothing crazy, right? It's what?
Yeah.
3 or 4 pips, whatever. That's okay.
No, just 2 pips for me. my entry was when the 5-minute close right away. That support form.
Oh, this one.
No, the previous one.
This one. Oh, okay.
Yeah, so I enter when the price close right away. So, and my stop loss was just below that. It's like a 11 pip stop loss, 11, 12 pip stop loss.
Oh, okay. Oh, so you're still in then? Your stop loss is here?
Yeah, below, but I closed the half position.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Because it coming back to that area.
Hold like a like a cowboy. Hold like a champion there. Yeah. You wanna
my
see?
entry is
Yeah.
here.
Okay. Yeah. So you're good. You're good. I thought that your entry was somewhere here, and then you were using this low as your stop loss.
No. So entry is here. I closed 50% because of that break. So my stop loss is still here in this area.
Okay. Yeah. Hold because you can close another portion of your trade if price is leaving this double marking here, this double line. Other than that, you know, this candle can easily close again like a bullish, and the last 5 of the 9 a.m. of this candle will revisit that high, and a new 4-hour candle. If this 4-hour candle close somewhere here above this red line, a new 4-hour will most likely make a pullback toward your entry, and the continuation should be there for the rest of the session. So hold a little bit more. You don't, you know, at least you close partials there, so that's good.
Yeah, at least I able to hold the position because previously I wasn't able to hold the position, but now I can hold the position after joining here because I understand how the structure form. So I can just wait for this how the candle is closing. Previously I was just taking entry here, taking partial at 1 to 1 and just let it close the position. I mean the stop loss is just it can just hit my stop loss and then again it can move to the upside.
Okay.
But it little bit risky because 4-hour is about to close, so maybe 4-hour is just creating that top wick in this area.
Depending how the body, I want to see the body of this candle closing higher than this body. So then we know that we're leaving that area and kind of a maximum pullback for the fresh 4-hour. It's gonna be the double line again. this area here, right? But
So
we need that.
Based upon that 4 hour, if you go to the 4 hour again, so you can consider this is like a breakout candle from this area, and this may be just retesting that breakout candle. If the price is just closing below that body, that's when we already retested that breakout candle high, and now we just going to push to the downside.
Yeah, but I want to see these candles closing above the 1674.50 basically. So that gives me the idea that the lower time zone will create some sort of support in those areas there. So, but that candle needs to close, somewhere here, for example, somewhere on that area. It's roughly 5 minutes. So the 5-minute candle that has to do the heavy lifting here is this current 5 to close like a king outside this area. Yeah. If this 5 is not the same, having this 5 closing outside this area and having this 5 closing below these previous bodies there, then a 4-hour candle, a new 4-hour will have it easy to retest these areas here. And at that point, you don't want to be risking, just to hold that position. You don't want to be risking 18 more pips, extra pips. No, you need this candle giving you the answer, closing like a king outside this area here, and going for a new push on a brand new 4-hour. Because at least you're getting the 2 4-hour candles here that support and confirmation of support. The moment price is breaking this one right here will make it so easy to retest those daily highs. Yeah.
So now this last 5-minute candle has to respect that low.
This double line, yeah, it can break a little bit that double line in there, but it needs to break that high as well. If that doesn't happen, then it is dangerous to hold, because this is the candle that gives the formation, the closing on the 4. So if you want to see the 4-hour candle closing like a strong candle, you need this 5 to close above this area. If that candle, instead of that, is closing below this area, imagine the 4-hour candle, let's say, closing below this area, that 4-hour candle will be looking more like a rejection from the upside than a healthy candle. This candle here, right? This candle, look how many pips in volume we have. 54 pips in volume. The half of that candle is 72. So that's where you don't want to see that candle closing below this area here for the continuation to happen. Like, that's okay. This is not this is not looking good for the last 5 of the 4-hour candle. Yeah. But your stop loss is down here?
No, I closed my trade
closed?
right away. Yeah, here in this area.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Because I can just wait for the 4-hour close and I can get better entry.
Yep. Yeah. Yes, sir. Let's see. I have stop loss B now. Oh well. And we have little tiny rejections in here on the 1 minute, roughly the 1670 to 10. This one right here. Get out the way, get out the way. It's very rare to have a retest for 2 times to the breakout candle low. Very rare. Yeah. Wow. That 4-hour for real wants to survive. Last 2 minutes of that 5. Oh. Last 2 minutes of that 5. And the problem here is that the low of the session is in here. This is kind of the deepest. As a form of retest, this is the deepest retest you make it. The low of the session. I'll have to try it. I'll do something stupid here. When we look how the previous one are shaping doesn't seem a bit weird or just last to the upside. It does. It does. In this area to the left hand side, there's plenty of rejections on 15 and 30s. So yes. But if something will create a rejection, since price is not finding that continuation there, when you pull up the 5-minute candles here, they're not looking so easy, right? So what is your session low? If this is a this is a plain and simple pullback to those areas there, right? This is kind of the area for the NYSE and for the new 4-hour candle. The low of the session is the one that makes sense for a pullback and then a push. Because what you want to see in here is one second, somewhere here. I mean, what you want to see in here is a push, 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 pull back. The deepest at that point will be the low of the session. So the same will happen in this area here. Another one, a push to this area here, then a pull back to the low of the session, and this extension is the one that you're aiming for. It's dangerous because because of the fundamentals, but market little by little is creating that upside, that upside move. And the deepest that it can go, breaking the breakout candle, is very rare to find that price will come back to that area, and it's not because it will correct the whole move. So for whoever wants to look for buy still, this is the breakout candle. It's okay to retest the breakout candle low, but it's not okay price leaving that breakout candle low. If price is breaking that area, basically the only one that for the ones who may be holding or looking for that move to the upside, this is the last frontier basically. If price is leaving the session low, is because this is becoming a rejection, a pullback for a previous structure on a daily. This is your secondary structure, and leaving this area is because it will go plain and simple to the downside there. And then at that point, yeah, you can target all those targets to the downside, the 70, the bottom of this range, the fake out, all those areas there you can target. But price needs to leave the breakout candle low. Until then, it's dangerous. Until then, it's dangerous. The range is pretty tight in here. 10 pips is nothing. The 4-hour candle managed to close like a continuation and not a rejection candle. But it's a long way to go. All the way to retest that area with this kind of range that we have, that there's no much volume. What you're paying is basically the spread. That is quite crazy. But toward this area here, at least to retest that area and see what's up. If it goes there and reject and reject and reject and close below that resistance, that previous small resistance here, then it's a different story. But you need to see a retest, at least to this area here. And then price closing back below this area and leaving this low. At that point, you have more information that with all that confluence, you may plan, for the downside move for the rest of the session. But until then, still too dangerous here to consider the sells. I don't see them. Now, Marco, the way the 4-hour candle close, what do you guys see there? plain and simple rejection candle, or you guys see this more like a continuation? Manuel, anybody? I know, Lou. They're moving like, and there's not much volume, isn't this? It's quite crazy why we don't have much volume here. Continue a continuation, so I agree on that. Yeah. If that candle, if the previous the candle, the 4-hour candle that just closed, right, was closing below those previous bodies, I may say, well, this is a crazy rejection, and we may see plain and simple continuation to the downside. But the way the body of this candle closes, you know, looks more like a continuation, at least, like I said, a wick fill.
Wick fill, yeah.
Yeah. That gives more like the idea to the wick fill. And if not the entire wick fill, but to retest this area here and see what's gonna happen there. This is kind of a fake out in the lower time frames. So price breaking that high is because it's coming for this one right here. Yeah.
It's just very slow, isn't it? No momentum.
Yeah, it's not going anywhere. Pretty slow, pretty slow.
Probably just waiting for the election.
Yeah. Or something, you know, NYSE. If market open optimistic, kind of the same that happened with the COMEX open today, the market open optimistic for gold, then NYSE will do the same. Will create that impulsive move with the NYSE opening. You know, this is your COMEX open, no bottom wick in there. So you know what's going on there. I'll have to call Trump and say, hey brother, what's going on in here? Yeah, engulfing there. This is the first 5 on the 4-hour. It's ranging still because to the left hand side we have plenty of rejections here. Look at this.
All right.
Hey, Mr. Garrett.
My man, what's up?
Gucci, my brother. Gucci, tell me, are we right click or left click today?
Nah, we're gonna click forward.
Kerwin, brother.
Hey man.
I did not made any click.
Okay. Good.
I have one question, brother. I have one question. Now, new 4-hour candle is opened. Okay. So definitely it will make the pullback up to the 50% or something like that. So I have to wait on a smaller time frame to create a support, and then we have to enter.
That's the idea. Yeah.
This
you
is
can
idea,
wait for
right?
that. I mean, look, this is a fresh 4-hour. Anything can happen here. You know,
Yes.
the idea is 76 somewhere there. Little by little, the range doesn't make sense to take any trading consideration, because if that candle, let's say, close bullish outside this area, you have to risk it for the biscuit with 19 pips to the high of the day. There's not much you can do in here. You know, 1-to-1 it's not worth it. So maybe waiting for easing session till they start counting the votes. Maybe we have bigger moves. The range in here to trade like a conservative way, the range doesn't make sense to be traded. It's a complete mess, and you are trading at areas of rejection. Look at these 30-minute candles. So you can waste your bullets here. The one that made a lot of sense was the 4-hour candle. You know, looking for that 4-hour candle, and that 4-hour candle was a stretching there, to use the body of that 4-hour as your stop loss, and then play the odds. Say, well, what are the odds that this candle, instead of giving me a bullish close, you know, if I have something like this, right? If I enter there, my stop loss is in here. What if that candle, instead of giving me a plain and simple continuation to the upside in the last 30 minutes, you know, after looking like this in the last 20 minutes, that candle is flipping bearish, then I'll have to exit my position, because that candle can go all the way down again. With momentum, that thing can easily start just going, you know, all the way down there. But when you take in consideration a trade like this, You're basically you're expecting that if you enter here, you say, well, that candle can pull back to its opening, but I will be safe at that point, and I can easily enter here, target the current 4-hour candle high, and most likely a plain and simple continuation. But I'm playing the odds with this 4-hour candle. What the 4-hour candle was doing, risking 16, aiming for this area here, but trading at the 74, let's say, to target the 76, 20 pips when you have to use the lower of the lower time frames support area as your contention is too much risk. Too much risk for the reward that you're looking for. Like for example, this kind of trade, right? A long position with momentum, trading outside that area. You're expecting that with momentum, that candle just gonna blast, giving you 20 pips in there with zero pullback. But what if that candle just goes there and start rejecting, and come back to trade the range? You're not gonna close immediately. You can close 50% of your trade, but at least you're gonna leave a little bit of room for that candle to do something, to do something like a pullback. For example, a candle that can break this area, and you enter there impulsive. That candle may create the lower wick first, and then that candle breaking impulsive, you go for it. Price can go, close your position there, immediately bring your stop loss to that low of the candle. Next candle, boom, and the next with momentum, that continuation will be there. Especially breaking the daily high, you have 20 more pips to the upside there. And these 20 pips may be the safest option for you today, because you can take those 20 pips impulsive. In this area, impulsive, you have to deal with the session high, the daily high, and the reactions that you have across the board on this area here. So makes it a little bit of a more danger. It's more a headache than a plain and simple trade that you can consider here. Now, if you're planning with the higher time frame, with the 4-hour candle, planning buying somewhere here, having a stop loss at the flip of the 4-hour candle, then you may consider that. It's 9, 12, 13, 14 pips, and you're basically targeting this area here, but you're basically buying the half of the range and target the session high, the daily high, and the extra 20 pips. And at that point, you may have a safer chances there. Other than that, it can be really risky, really risky. You have to plan way ahead of time and play the odds. Plan based on what you see. That 4-hour candle was looking nice for a continuation to the upside. But this idea here is dangerous. It may play out, and you have to be really lucky that price find enough momentum with NYSE to break that daily high and gives you the extra 20 pips in there from the 76, whatever. This is your daily high, right? Oh. And then you have to the 76.63 to the 78.63, somewhere there. But this kind of reward looks easier, looks better, but this can be dangerous. This can be dangerous because what you have here is plenty of rejections on the 30 minutes and 50 minutes. It's dangerous.
10-minute rejection there. 2-minute rejection. All right, Coach, can you hear me now?
I can hear you, brother.
And the microphone yesterday was bad. Today it's better.
Oh, wow.
Same microphone. That's the technology. One day is good. One day, next day, just hitting the stop loss. Yeah. And I really like the idea. I was thinking like ideas of maybe daily highs, but just a saver. I can see it. And, at the moment we did in a session high as well. If we take it impulsive, we have to deal with the session high. But if, for example, if you say, if anything or any candle close above the daily high, are we talking about 50 pip high or just a 20 pip?
No, we're basically the target that makes sense is a 1680 today. Again, 50 pips to the high of the from these areas, from the 75, 50 to the 80s to retest the daily zone, basically. Hopefully, with the elections tonight, we get outside this creepy ass range. These ideas. Okay, Ben. This is the idea that you're planning with the NYSE session?
Yeah.
or this idea, like price going all the way down here?
No, that idea. I already played this idea since London.
Can you speak a little bit louder?
Yes. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
This idea, it is the idea that I'm planning for. This, this one. It is, if NYSC open, maybe 5 minute candle, respect this line that I draw, I will go for long.
Okay. Will you consider? Will you consider to have the stop loss a little bit lower than that, somewhere here? Because in here, taking the position there, I think is quite easy. If price is trading below this resistance area here, price will kind of make it easy to get there and reject from there. So I will, just an idea. I would rather have, extra, let's say 3 pips, 5 pips, 4 pips below that zone to survive any pullback there. For the way that price is behaving, I don't want to see that the heavy pullback to this area here, to this area. So this one, I want to disregard that idea, looking for that pullback all the way down there. The one that makes more sense is basically the session low, price going there and rejecting there. Trading below the session low is a must to retest that support. So if you take the impulsive entry or something like that with less confirmation there, it will be really easy for price to go there and maybe even lower than that. And at the end of the candle closing like a fake out from the downside, and then another pullback there and the continuation. But I don't want to see that. What I want to see is a candle just going to the upside from this zone over here, because the 4-hour candle closed bullish. So I don't want to see a crazy pullback on a bullish candle.
Okay, I will take my time.
Yeah, no problem, brother. Thank you for sharing that idea, though. I think the idea from the downside makes a lot of sense. From this downside here makes a lot of sense. This is your session, the session low. Give me 1 second. This is my session low is this one right here, basically this one. So price can break that liquidity, can go a little bit more to the downside and retest the bottom of the range. So for me, having something like this, I can try to catch that knife with bare hands in there, expecting a rejection from there. Something like this. If I have, because if price goes there, I rather wait, catch that impulsive buy from there than trying to catch that buy from this area here and having a stop loss. If I'm gonna have a stop loss, I will need a stop loss at least to have a little bit of margin on that candle there. If I had to try something there. If not, the one that makes sense for price to reject is the COMEX open. NYSE is the one that needs to give you another batch for the upside there, counting on this massive candle here. Not massive, don't get me wrong, because it's not that massive. It's looking huge, but this is the only healthy candle that we have in this area here. So let's say the NYSE can give you a pullback to retest previous areas of rejection, like this area somewhere there, and then leaving these highs because it's going for the daily high. Something that I really like in market structure sometimes when you have a closing above the secondary structure is previous areas of rejection and support is basically the areas that will be respected later on. If NYSE or any other time frame is giving you a close below this area, mind your business, because we're heading downtown. And this is the only, this area here will be the only contention you will have at that point, 1670.50. Like for example, today is the perfect scenario. If I was looking for news in the market, this is my first structure. Price breaking the first structure is mandatory to go to the secondary structure, and this structure is the one that needs to give me that rejection ASAP. Not a single candle leaving that rejection area, that secondary structure there from the downside. But we are already trading above the secondary resistance here. This was a complete mess, a complete range. And this candle closing like a king in here, for me, this is pullback before the continuation. But if later on I have a body closing below this area, then I need to trust what I have on the previous daily and and a lot of 4-hour candles that are bearish from the left hand side. And we may go in one shot all the way down here. So for me, buy limits, this can work as buy limits. This area can work as buy limit. Correction, if price is trading below, gives you a close below that area, then what was previous areas of resistance here, a rejection, that's gonna be the stop loss, and you can take in consideration anything that can close below this area here. Yeah. But if you're, I mean, guys, let's be honest, if you're not feeling confident about a certain trade because it's ranging in the volume is not there, don't take it. You know, if you're gonna take it, use I rather want you to use 20 pips in a stop loss and risk it 1-to-1 than using 5 or 7, or just because you get a pullback there, you get scared and close your position too early, then price goes back again, break the high, you enter again, and then you use the low of that candle. You're making it so easy for the market to, you're basically just feeding the market. If you're gonna do something, have a proper stop loss and let it do its thing. You're basically planning with kind of ideas like this. You're planning long term, and you don't need to take every day. You don't need to take trades. You need to take only high probability trades. I do it because for me, I know when to scalp, when to hold a position a little bit more, and when to close my position. If I go, 10 pips in drag down, 15 pips in drag down, I'm not gonna hesitate and close my position. But if you're not familiar with those setups, just watch how price behave and let it do its thing. We will have, most likely tomorrow is gonna be a safer session to trade the CPI. With enough momentum tomorrow, we're gonna have fun. But today I wanna see that 1680 is getting tapped again. Today is the way that where you close the terminal and just yeah, exactly. It looks like that kind of day. And to be honest, sometimes we as traders we enter in a way in trades that we do it with FOMO, with fear of missing out, and then we have zero discipline and we enter at the break of certain areas and we don't understand that price may just teasing you to enter, and immediately the candles are breaking below previous uncertainty. You have to be mindful and say, well, this is not my trade. Now, if you're closing the position, just because price pulled back to there and close bearish, don't start taking the opposite direction on the trade, because sometimes it's just price doing a pullback before the continuation, or just price giving a fake out before start ranging. And if you just because price is closing bearish, you start looking for that move to the downside and price just go there 3 pips, 5 pips, 4 pips and just ranging, doing exactly the same thing, you just feed in the market. So don't do it. Don't do it. For me, bets and sells below the 1669.50, buys above the 1676.50. Yeah. Breaking the daily high can give you 20 pips to the upside. With enough momentum, we can make it. We can make it to the not only to the 78, but we can make it to the 80 with enough momentum. It's just the daily today pulled back too much. I didn't want to see that heavy pullback on a daily. Kind of the daily needed to pull back max 1670. But throwing that kind of fake out there with massive move to the downside was just 50 pips to the downside there, to the 65, a little bit more than the 65. But it is what it is. Wow.
Kerwin,
Yeah.
on the left side, that this was like a
The 5. Give me 1 second.
No, just here. Look at this, man. Just messy area.
Yeah. 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 Sometimes people who trade lower lot size and don't use a stop loss, it is when you have to give them, you know, a round of applause, because people who may enter and buys yesterday in here, they just don't care. They just put the penny lots in there and then they just let it do this thing. Look, price going back to trade exactly where price was yesterday. And is when price is in a rangy zone, sometimes you have to consider to play the odds. And, you know, what is the bigger picture? Wow, the bigger picture is bullish from the run that you have. You know that this is previous areas of rejection. So what are the odds that we're gonna continue ranging? And then I have done this plenty of times, buying the top of the resistance when I have previous areas of reaction. And those are the days that I'm like, I should have considered just, you know, to try really small risk in there. Just drop a small risk and play the range, you know, buy or have you know, have the balls not to use a stop loss. There was the worst thing that can happen. Price going for $10 more from your entry. Who cares? Price at any given point, since it's in a rangy zone, price will come back to your range and trade inside the range again. But that's not proper trading. I think that's more hoping that something will happen. Trading must be done, you know, with proper analysis, in my opinion. But sometimes people say, I mean, not long ago, I had somebody, I was holding a drag down 300 pips on gold because he was selling on Friday. And I'm like, wow, man, that's crazy.
Yeah, I think in learner session, we even have a discussion about that.
Oh, yeah?
Trade what you see instead of what you think.
Yeah. And sometimes price doesn't make sense and you're going to miss moves that are kind of obvious, but you don't have the information to take that trading in consideration, right? Like, it's like if you tell someone, oh, look, just sell here. Why? I don't know, because these areas is rejections on 30s and may play out, but you don't have that confidence because you don't have that information yet to sell. Now, if you tell me, oh, sell if price is closing back in this area and use this specific zone in here as your stop loss, if I get stopped out, at least I know that I waited for the confirmation to happen. But, you know, there's a lot of things that doesn't make sense in the market, and sometimes you have to take them in consideration and say, well, what are the odds in here? Can I sell the resistance with zero confirmation, just hope for the best, or not stop loss at all because price can go there and reject and come back tomorrow to my entry? You know, it's a dangerous one. It's a dangerous one. Yeah. And nobody likes this kind of moves, right? I'm waiting for Thursday CPI. Okay. Good morning, Adriel. But you don't like these moves, right, guys? You guys don't like to consider those moves. It's too much of a danger, right? Too much danger on those moves.
Pray for me, man.
Not even the huh?
Pray for me. I'm already in this.
Oh, okay. Because at the break of that confirmation of support, you know, that's kind of the one that makes sense. Raj? Is Raj here still? Sonai?
Yeah, I'm here still.
You guys consider something like this? Did you guys picture something like this morning when you guys were trading London after that 4-hour candle close, or no?
No, we talked about that, the continuation of the 4-hour from London. And then what I said was so after the London 4-hour, if the next 4-hour pulls back and breaks the high, which it did, then we should have continuation in New York. And that's exactly what it's doing now. So my run is up to 100 pips now.
Holy Moses.
Yeah, we've just tapped the Asian high. So yeah, it worked out really well.
Okay.
Yeah, we are targeting that Asia high. So
that was
it already tapped. Yeah.
Yeah, Kerwin brother.
Yeah, mate.
It is breaking the daily high. Please look at here.
Yeah, it's breaking the daily high. That's the target. When price close above the secondary sector, pull back to previous areas of contention, and price needs to give you that move. Now, here's a trick. Are you aiming for those 20 pips to the upside? For that to happen, we are 2 minutes for NYSE closing, for NYSE opening. This candle needs to close more than a 50% in continuation. Why? Because NYSE will basically no pullback at all. Well, it's gonna blast over basically what the previous 30-minute candle did, not bottom wick. That's the same idea that you're expecting with NYSE. And NYSE is the one that can give you those 20 pips, extra pips to the upside there. Most of the times, the first 1 minute of the 5 is the one that creates the pullback. And then you gotta say, well, you know, what if the pullback can be done to this area here, but then start giving me another bullish candle? It's too much risk if price will go there. But if price create a support here, this candle, for example, create a support, and NYSE just break this high, it's just plain and simple, just have a, I mean, it's dangerous. There's always dangerous, right? But have a buy stop in there, and you know, let's say a stop loss there, and you can target something like this. But with momentum, wicks get filled, and unless that candle on the last 8 seconds close like a crazy rejection, and a 5-minute candle closing more like a rejection candle, then NYSE not gonna give you that wick fill there. And that's when you play the odds with momentum, right? Yeah, that's your NYSE session. From now on, this low, for whoever wants to hold whatever buys, if you've been holding buys, this is the deepest of a pullback for NYSE. But in total honesty, depending how the first 1 minute behave, that's gonna be it. The pullback on the 1 minute, can this 1 minute be you know, like 14 pips in pullback, or can this 5 minute can be just 10 pips in pullback, somewhere there? And at the end, is closing like a bullish one, and at the break of that candle, you may consider something stupid, something like this, for example. Less confirmation because it's a 1 minute. But if that 1 minute gives you a close, you don't technically you don't need to wait for price to go all the way down there. It's just this is your daily high, and when you pull up the daily, I'm pretty sure that daily is screaming buys, right? Yeah, look at that minute there. That's your first 1 minute on the 5, created that support. From now on, that candle doesn't have any business, you know, breaking that low over there. If you have to wait for price to leave impulsive this area, have a buy stops in there, and aim for 20 pips to the upside. 20 pips is oh, the target is somewhere here, right? 60, 70, 863, somewhere there. That's gonna be kind of the target, 20 pips above that daily high, and here somewhere there. And remember, this is something that we talk on a daily basis. If price goes there and doesn't give you those 20 pips like immediately, it's giving you only 5, 6, 7, then close your position, because it's rejecting daily high. And when you have an impulsive move above the daily high, you want to see the give me 1 second. Oh, sorry. The price needs to give you those 20 pips. If price goes there and doesn't give you those 20, it's rejection. If price gives you more than 20, then you can aim for the 80 there, because that's gonna be the 50 pips above the key level. The key level you have here is the 75. So, you know, that's plain and simple, the idea. Give me 1 second, please. Yeah. Sorry, what was that, guys? Did you say something?
Kerwin, I think, yeah, as I said, this played out like we discussed this morning. So yeah, it's the only concern we had was because of this election. We weren't sure how New York would respond to that. But we came out of our theory of if this 4 hour respects 50% of the previous, which it has, and breaks the high, which it has, going to see continuation, and that's exactly what we've got. And the current 4 hour is opened with no bottom wick, so there's a lot of buying pressure.
Buying pressure, yes.
Yeah.
See, the why price action is important to master price action, because if this candle, like we were talking this morning, if that candle close like a nothing candle, close like a body below that area, means that the bearish pressure is still there, and this volume trap below a certain area that was resistance before. This was a previous area of support and is becoming resistance in the lower time frames if that candle is closing below that area. But that candle is giving you the chance to aim more for a weak fill. If the moment is closing like this, then looking for a continuation to the downside. Now, those things, you're not going to be able to see those things before they happen until you have seen those things a lot of times before. Why I can picture candles before they happen? Because I have seen those things before. That's why I'm in some way, I'm way ahead of the curve comparing to someone who's using indicators and all the stuff, because my thing is, what do I see in the chart? Oh, what I see is London volume. Why yesterday I hesitated to not consider any sells yesterday, because this candle is giving me the information. Yesterday I didn't play it out, but look today, right? And just because yesterday didn't play it out, I'm not gonna be just selling because, oh, I'm getting a reaction from here, maybe in the lower time frames there. I'm getting a reaction. No, I know that this candle have enough information for me to consider the continuation. When that candle was kind of moving up and down, up and down, up and down, and that candle roughly had like I don't remember, it was 13 pips or so in a stop loss to consider. You know, why not consider that continuation and have a stop loss at the low of this, at the opening of this candle there, and play the odds, right? Why? Because that candle has bigger chance to close bullish and the next one to pull back to the low, to the opening of this candle, but at least to give you the weak fill there. And that's when you play the odds in the market. That's how you trade, you know, trade what you see, not what you think. And this candle here, this candle, I was expecting this candle to close stronger. So a new one, I will be safer in any entry that I have to consider for that hit on the daily high. And that was your daily high, you know, but little by little, don't rush on the process, you know, just let it do its thing. When you see those things over and over again, you will notice that, you know, that kind of behavior in the market. So, you know, just enjoy the ride. The fake out. Okay, this is the 15-minute candle break that you took this morning.
Yeah.
Okay. So you target as well the Asia sensation high.
Yeah, Asia.
Yeah. Did you like the to hold that position even though you were in kind of not drag down, but less profits in there, but trusting your analysis to target this area? Or you at some point you consider to say, man, I'm gonna get stopped out, so I'm gonna just close my position?
Okay, so what I trying to do recently,
here's the
like
thing,
closing 50% and let it the stop loss where it is.
Okay.
I'm not moving my stop loss because price may just come back to this low and then again range, and then we just move to the upside. So that's why I didn't even move my stop loss. My stop loss are just below that area. So even if it hit my stop loss, I'm just going to make like a 0.1 or 0.2%.
Perfect. That's that, you know, and I asked this because I want everybody, you know, apart from you, that you've been trading with me for some time already, apart from you, that everybody can listen to this and can see those things. Why? Because this is the kind of level I want everybody to be trading, you know, at some point, 2, 3 months, 4, 5, 6 months, whatever that doesn't matter how long it takes you, because some of you guys have a different approach to trading, have a different psychology. You maybe you never face the fact that you blowed accounts because you were over trading. But this is the kind of thinking, that this is the kind of thought process that I want everybody at the same level, in the same pace, because we discuss these ideas on a daily basis. So just because you have a pullback doesn't mean that you need to be scared. No, you know that you have the breakout candle, you know that you have the session low, whatever, but you know that this is the bullish pressure. And what do you need? You need to understand that when NYSE session comes in play, you're gonna have the same. And that gives you that will put you in a different position that someone who's looking only for 15 pips here and there. Yeah, market sometimes will give you only 15, but if you manage to get in a certain trade and you're getting confirmations in the lower time frames, you can easily hold your position and maximize your profits. You don't need to be risking 1% using 10 pips as stop loss to get 10 pips in profits, or 15 pips in a stop loss to get 15. It requires discipline. It requires a lot of understanding in the market to trade aggressive. If not, if you're trading aggressive and you're risking 2% of your account on a daily basis, or maybe 5, or maybe not even measuring your risk, and you just jump in a trade because price is moving in one direction, then you need to consider something else. Why? Because markets sometimes, especially gold, and this is why I really love the way that gold behaves, is because gold with minimum risk can give you a big return. On a daily basis, that will happen. Now, sometimes we come to the sessions and the session price action doesn't lines up to what we want to see. And then we have to take in consideration, okay, that day was a losing day, either a losing day, a small losing day, because you have to call it a day. If you are basically, price is not giving you the move that you want, and you already took 2, 3 position, and they were in losses, and you're maybe 2, 3% down for the day, just call it a day. Now, when you come to when the time comes that you see something that is familiar to your eyes and is an A+ setup, you will say, okay, what are the odds that price already closed above the secondary sector and price will come back to retest that area before the continuation? I'm gonna hold a little bit more than, and I'm gonna close partials. I'm gonna close the max I can, but I'm not so worried about getting stopped out completely because I secure some. Because the thing in market is the market, not every day is a trading day in the market, but there are certain days that is easier for you to consider those things. And like I said, if you trade one thing in one session, you will tend to know more your pair, your session. It's like being married. You tend to know your wife. She's behaving in one way and say, oh, I did something. I don't know what I did, but I did something, because she's not happy with me today. So it's the same in the market. When you see those things happen, remember, there's plenty of information. Secondary resistance, the close inside this area. What makes sense? The pullback here. And let me pull back to the previous trade. That was a trade on. I think this was the trade that I got stopped out. 8 a.m. Yeah, mate. Oui. Napoli. Okay. I don't remember this is Thursday. I got stopped out on Tuesday, if I'm not wrong. 10, no, that was Friday. Oh, this is October. Must be somewhere here. That was last week. It was this madness here. I don't remember. I had to pull up the chart that I had at that point. Prices started to close above a certain area and then start moving quite nice. Maybe this is the zone in here. No, this doesn't. It is, but doesn't look familiar to me. Yeah, whatever, but it's always the same. It's over and over. that you get you know, nice structure, and price just tend to respect the support, what was a previous area of support, and the continuation will be there.
Kerwin, brother,
Yes, sir.
our anticipation for breaking the daily high and go up is failed, right?
Not anymore, to be honest. Not anymore, unless price respect this area, but this closing there is looking like a fake out, complete fake out from the daily, from the Asian session high. So if that candle breaks that low, it's because it's going to close below this area and most likely correcting the whole thing. But this area here on the to the left hand side, this is a pretty strong area. Something that was a strong area of resistance before, this candle on the 30-minute is a bigger confirmation than just 1 minute or 5 minutes. So you can think of, okay, what is the maximum if this is gonna be a pullback? What's the maximum pullback for the NYSE session basically, and the 10 a.m.? Well, I have, first of all, I have previous rejections areas there, but the kind of the previous area that was giving me resistance is this area. So it's okay for price to pull back 1674 basically, and still the continuation to the upside makes sense. Now, are you willing to risk sells for 15 pips to the downside when you have a bigger opportunity to wait for pullback, look for support to be established, and continuation to the upside, right? If the fake out is valid, that candle there needs to respect this high. If it's not respecting this high and respecting the low, then the continuation to the upside is the one that makes sense. Unless this candle in the next 9 seconds close like a rejection heavy one in this area here.
Reports.
Repose? What is that? Enter now. Buy now. Huh? Are you selling signals, EJS? EJS, I can hear you, brother.
Got a sideline business.
Oh.
No. I am in the office. So my colleague is asking where is the report. So I am telling him I am preparing report. So this is what I am telling.
Okay.
I'm only joking.
Man, I will have to learn Urdu, man.
Actually, boss,
Yeah.
I need the signal. How I can save the signal?
Just
I need
buy
the
and
signal.
close your eyes. Just buy and close your eyes. Nah, man. No, that was hilarious. I'm sorry. Sorry about that. That was obviously a joke. Aegis. No.
Yeah, I'm only joking. Don't take me seriously.
I don't know what you were saying. You know, to me it was looking like, oh, buy now.
You guys are wild.
Hey, Mac, what's up, brother?
Hey, good morning.
Sometimes you need to speak to yourself.
Yeah, I do think what Kerwin was saying, can you go back onto the hourly? Like this area here should be very strong and should be respected.
Yeah.
And then continue down because the dollar and the DXY index is really strong right now. So.
Yeah, and especially on elections day. Anything can happen today.
We gotta pick a mayor today.
Yeah. Oh my goodness.
Start selling.
Yeah, that was hilarious. That was funny. How you been, Macaronian?
Good, bro. I'm so sore today.
And what about the competition? When is the competition going on?
I gotta find a new coach, and right now I've been training my mom. I've been going to the gym.
Oh, that's why you're okay.
Yeah.
Oh my
God. Funny.
Nice. Yeah. Aegis.
Yes, boss.
Tell me the signal. Do I right click or left click?
I made the right click with $3.
Oh, nice. Nice, brother.
Because you told me if it is not giving too much move, close your position. So I close the position.
Yeah, I know. Most of the times, if you go to the daily high or the daily, obviously, the way this candle closed is telling me that we have 50 pips more to the upside. It may sound crazy to say it and to believe it. The 50 pips is roughly the 82 there. And that's kind of the next target for that move. But thanks to the body of this candle respected the resisting candle and broke above. And this one right here already pulled back and is breaking the high. So kind of for the daily high and at the session high, the first target for that trade, for the ones who didn't consider anything there, that was kind of the target there, 20 pips to the upside. The 76, what was exactly the number? Yeah, the number was there, the 76.64. So 78.64, basically. That's kind of the target. It's perfectly aligned with our previous rejections areas here. And like Mark is saying, this is plenty of areas of rejections on 4 hour strong zoning here. So you have to take advantage of those moves, but remember, you have to secure some. Don't let everything on the table, because at any given point, you're going to get punished. No, that doesn't mean that just because price is rejecting there, you immediately start selling with zero confirmation. Don't do it. Just, enjoy the ride, and hopefully we can break that 1682 today. So we can go to the 1690, the target that we were looking yesterday. Hopefully we can get it today, right? Now, if you have rejections and another 5-minute candles are closing below this area and leaving the NYSE session low, then be careful with it, because it can give you correction, especially today. Today, at any given point, we're gonna have more. Now it's the price is not giving that a spread, that quite crazy spread. It's there. It's a little bit tame. But before was crazy. At New York opening, there was crazy. The spread was jumping anywhere from 1.5 to 2.5.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, that's kind of your target there.
Actually, Kerwin, you notice one thing. Now my focus is not to take the positions. My focus is to learn from you.
Beautiful. That's great.
Yeah,
that's the way.
So I have no interest on this click and earn the money or something. My focus is only to your words and your learning.
Okay, perfect. Sounds great, man. Congratulations. And that's what I want to hear. I really love hearing that. Not long ago, I mean, like I would say, like you were here, you joined KTF back in like in May. Then you were ghost, you were missing in action like 3 months. Then you came back, and now you have a different approach to trading. So that's awesome.
Yes, because I built the psychology that learning is important than earning.
Exactly, brother. Skill set will pay.
Yes, skill set. Yes,
skill set. Yeah. Sometimes just because you're chasing money, you miss the bigger picture. You miss the most important thing, which is learning. If you don't know how I trade, and then you want to go and get breakfast? You haven't done much of a trading on gold. I think the first month is something that you can easily just start seasoning your trading. Putting a little bit of salt, pepper, and all the stuff. Getting used to the moves. And then after a month, I think you should be good to understand where are we heading, especially a New York session, because it's most of the times New York session is easier than Asian session or London. You have more information.
Yes. Yeah. Now I am feeling comfort when you are talking something around 15%, 10%. I am understanding your concepts. Okay. This is my first month actually on this.
Nice, brother.
Start selling. Start selling.
Start selling.
No, I'm playing.
That's dangerous. I mean, the bullish pressure is there. Hopefully we get to the resistance though. That daily is looking the way that we want to see the daily today. That freaking daily is amazing. Beautiful to see that daily, bro. Going back to business, and the only one that can give you a headache here is the 80. If the 80 doesn't give you a rejection ASAP, that thing will blast above this previous bearish candle here. Having a 15-minute candle today closing above the 1682 will create so much damage in the market that we're heading most likely to the 1690s. It's crazy, but that's the way I love looking at gold. When gold is moving outside their certain key level, you gotta trust, man. You gotta trust those moves. And the only one that 1679. Let me put this little tiny line in here so you can see it. 79.50. Aegis, what do you think I am paying attention to 1679.50? Aegis is here, or you still selling signals?
Repeat your question, please, boss.
What do you think I'm looking for that 1679.50 there?
Oh, Kerwin.
Why do you think I'm expecting a rejection from there?
I cannot answer, boss.
Okay, perfect. It's okay. Okay, it's because price, if it's going to respect the key level, the 1680 price can go 5 pips below the key level and reject. The same of if the key level is not being respected, a 5-minute candle that can close above the key level. Let me delete all these drawings here. Right there. This is your key level, right? That's your key level. 5 pips below the key level is roughly there. If price is gonna reject and will give me the continuation to the downside, which is the bigger picture on the previous daily. If price goes there and gives me a rejection, give me one second. If price goes there, a bearish candle, and is rejecting, and the next candle try to retest that high and create the confirmation resistance, this is my signal to start selling. This area here, the pullback can happen there, and at the break of this low, I can short that thing. Why? Because it's rejecting the key level, right? Now, not having that confirmation, those 2 5-minute candles there, creating the resistance, confirmation of resistance, and only have a candle that is a bearish, and the very next candle, not upward, can go 400 pips to the downside there. I didn't have the confidence to sell it. The confidence to sell it will be based on these 2 5-minute candles. That's the bread and butter there for that specific key level. Now, if instead of having 2 5-minute candles there, every 5-minute candle is respecting the previous 5-minute candle low and giving me continuation, why do I have to sell something that is looking bullish still? I don't have the confidence. This is when I'm telling you guys, for me, it doesn't make sense. For somebody may say, well, I'm gonna sell it. This is too high for the session, so let's just sell it and no stop loss at all and pray for the best. But for me, if I don't have those 5-minute candles that can create resistance, confirmation resistance, and the third candle breaking the low, if the range is worth it to the downside, I will have to consider. But until then, I have zero business. Why? Because if little by little, that candle there, this move is making me remember the same move that we had on Friday. Price action, plain and simple continuation, respecting previous lows and breaking the high. If I have a 5-minute candle body that can close above the 80, I know that this candle here is the one that gave me the idea to target from the key level, from the 75 to target the 80. And if the 80 is giving me another bullish close, the moment I have a little tiny pause in the market and support has been established, confirmation of support again at the break of this baby right here, I'll aim for the 1685 and so on and so on and so on and so on. If price will respect the key level, price needed to give you that rejection from the exact key level or the 79.50. And this area here, 10 pips below the key level, doesn't need to hold. But if price gives you a close above the key level, 1 second, a close above the key level, right? The key level is 1680. This is being on dailies. When you pull up the dailies, we've been talking a lot about this key level, the 80.
Yes.
So if you have a candle that closed bullish above the key level and the next candle respect the low and break the high, aim for that 85 again. We'll create a lot of momentum here. And what is the maximum pullback at that point for anything? The 79 flat. That's going to be the contention. Here is when the pullback will happen and support has been established. Another confirmation of support there, and look for that continuation. You have zero business looking for that downside move when price is moving to the upside. When price is moving to the upside, you either hold your position or add more positions to your winning trades. Because when we are in a losing trade, like dummies, we start adding more positions to the losing trade. Why, if you're in a winning trade, why not adding position? If you understand price action, you will notice. Okay, it's pretty simple. It's very straightforward. The candle needs to respect the low, break the high. Then the candle needs to respect the low and break the high, and so on and so on and so on. There's timing in the market like the one at 10 a.m. 3 more minutes for the 10 a.m. in here. Look at that 10 a.m. candle, that 9 a.m. candle here. Do you have any business counter trend in this candle here?
No. This is heavy bullish candle. Yes.
Exactly. That 10 a.m. candle have a bigger probability to break outside this area. A new 10 a.m. same that this candle did, no bottom wick, and boom, to the upside we go. 50 pips in no time maybe. And you know, these things may not happen on a daily basis, but when those things happen, take in consideration those trades and be a man. Hold your position. Be a badass and say, well, I'm gonna hold it because I trust this move. I have seen this move so many times that I will hold it. Instead of selling and adding more to your selling positions, go for buys, trade what you see and know what you think. And that 4-hour candle there, look at that 4-hour candle. Did you guys thought about that 4-hour candle today? Not really, right? You say, man, you know what, this pullback, whatever, this is my daily high, so most likely there, another rejection. But those things, you need to see those things plenty of times until you understand what is the purpose of these candles here. If you have these candles here, this means pullback. Support being established, your safest bet is at the break of that support high. But until this happen, until you see this, then is when you're gonna trust your gut and your ideas. But until then, all you can say is, no, man, this guy is crazy. How this motherfucker is looking for buys when price is going to the downside. What I see is what happened to the left-hand side. To the left-hand side, I have monster bullish candles here. So I can easily look for, I don't sell the pullback, don't get me wrong. And this is why yesterday I hesitated so much to take in consideration those sells. And I didn't took those sells. Even last night, I consider the buys last night, but the thing is, I'm not gonna be holding a heavy drag down just because I wanna see the move happening, right? But it made a lot of sense for price just go to the 70, reject, and finally moving away from those lows, because that's what I have on a previous weekly. That's what I have on a previous weekly. Previous weekly monster candle. This pullback. I don't sell the pullback. I try to avoid selling the pullback unless it's a quick scalps in there, like 15, 20 pips, and with enough volume, yeah, I may consider it. Other than that, no. The bigger picture for me is aiming for that 1700 and the 1730s overall for the rest of the week. And you have to play the odds sometimes. That area there, the 4-hour candle there, gave you a beautiful support in my opinion. So for Akshay, Raj, that is still holding, congratulations. That's a beautiful banker. You may even believe it this morning.
Very up now. Go very up now.
I just closed it now.
Okay, yeah, that's a good idea. That's 1680, and this is the 10 a.m. candle, may give you a pullback. Not that I'm interested in selling the pullback, don't get me wrong, because what I want to see is another candle that can close above the 82, and I will look for more positions in here.
Also, this 1680 level is quite strong. It goes all
yes,
Friday.
Yes, on the dailies from the left hand side.
Yeah.
Look how many dailies they've been trying to break outside this area here, and it's not finding. So this is the area that you can cash out max of your position and let the rest run, just, for the sake of simplicity. Based on momentum, makes me believe that we're going to have a plain and simple continuation, the same that happened on Friday. On Friday, I didn't manage to hold my position quite easy. And I got stopped out when market opened, basically on Sunday, because I didn't expect a gap down, and my stop loss was 66 something here, and I got stopped out after holding that beautiful move there, from those areas. I'm like, okay, market will have it sometime. At least I wasn't just running a small runner there. But this area here is a good idea. Don't get me wrong. Just because we're talking that this is a strong area of resistance doesn't mean that you need to start just selling gold today. Don't do it. It may happen, but it can be a dangerous move. Yeah, this one right here, this structure is looking good for a retest. Previous areas is here. 77.50 here. If price is leaving that area. 10 pips, it's only 10 pips. What I like about this 1 minute is the resistance, right? Confirmation of resistance, this liquidity grab in the 1 minute and this candle breaking the low. But if this candle broke the low and breaks the liquidity high in here, it's because it's continuation to the upside. But it's yeah, that candle is closing like a support again. It's a no. Risking 9, 10 pips with the spread, whatever, to target this one right here, man, it's dangerous. Don't do it. Use the pullback as a good chance to enter again in that train. It's like when a train stops at the station, you need to look for a seat and jump on that train, because if not, you're missing your spot in there. But yeah, this 80 is strong. I'm not gonna lie, this 80 is strong. That's why I want to see a healthy candle closing body closing above that 80, so I can continue holding my position. I'm not by any, like I said, I'm not interested in selling gold, not at all. But it's a resistance zone, so anything can happen there. But selling gold for 10 pips there, not really. The risk reward is not there for me to consider it. I'd rather look for a closing above the 80, a body, and then a continuation with momentum, wicks that fill. And if this low is being respected, this high is not respected, then it will create another one. Yeah. You selling that reaction? No, I'm not selling that reaction. I'm still holding, I'm still holding my entry there. Oh, Manuel left. Ten a.m. I knew something weird. What happened? You sent me the video, but there was a police car in there. But that's not because you called them. You didn't. Okay. All right, babe. All right. It's been an easier session than the one we pictured this morning with the election date. I would love to see for that continuation, looking for that continuation to the upside. That daily is trading at pretty strong areas of reaction. So be mindful. This will be just a plain and simple pullback before the continuation, especially because this candle broke the low. What makes me believe that we're gonna have a plain and simple continuation to the upside is the volume we have, the momentum we have. When you pull up those 30-minute candles there, this candle here is nothing. This 30, for example, that's 43 pips in volume. And it took only 30 minutes. Now measure 40 pips in volume here. Look how much 10 hours, something that only took 30 minutes here, took 10 hours here, right? The same And it is basically the same. Another one in here for the books. 41. You can start measuring your volume there. 41, 41, 41, and 43, plus 40. Every candle that is giving you plus 40 pips. So why? You know, why going to the process of counter trending something that is looking simple for an upside move? These are the kind of data that they're dangerous, but with low risk, you can make it happen. And you have to trust your gut. You have to trust your analysis. One more minute for that 5 to close. That's the one that most likely will close above the key level. And that's the one that gives you the idea, the continuation, and the daily will break that previous daily high. And it's gone so to the 85 we go. Wow. Keep on pushing, baby. I can hear your Raj. Those are the alerts. The last frontier. This one right here. The last frontier. Holy. Another one. I'm gonna add another position there. Yeah, I just add another position. Yeah. There you go. That was easy. Keep on pushing me more. This is, you know, this is so beautiful to see. Yeah. And I just had another position at the break of the daily high, at the previous daily high. It's beautiful to see. You're not gonna have this kind of behavior on a daily basis. Keep on pushing, mommy. Don't be shy, mi amor.
Well, okay, that was a good cause. Good push.
Did you manage to get in, Macaronian?
No, I don't trade gold.
Oh, okay. Keep on pushing, baby. There you go, baby girl.
Wow, I couldn't add
540 pips and counting. Fucking hell.
What? That's crazy.
Look
at that pushing.
I think I'm lying. 600 and counting, whatever.
Kerwin, brother.
What happened,
Kerwin, brother?
Yeah, man.
It reached to the height of the laptop screen, so it will come out.
Oh, you need to buy another screen for that move. Keep on pushing, babe. Don't be shy. I mean, we can get there. 1700 is nearby.
Unfortunately, I did not take this position.
It's okay, brother. Just watch. You know, you don't have to.
Yes, yeah, I'm just watching.
Yeah,
you are
just
right.
watch.
Right.
Next time you see something like that, you can.
Man, I got out early.
And
oh, what
boss,
happened, Manix?
And you know, boss, this is the psychology build. See, I did not enter FOMO. I did not click anything.
Let me close my last two positions here. Yeah, that's fair enough for the day, I guess.
I made quick like 4%.
You made how much? 4%?
Yeah.
That's beautiful. That's beautiful.
But it was very quick in and out.
I'm telling you, on Friday, I missed the original move, and today was looking similar to the Friday candle. So I'm glad we managed to get in. And whoever, you know, if you didn't got in on that trade, you know, just don't start chasing trades now. You have plenty of opportunities from the downside. Plenty of opportunities, even breaking the daily high. And this is, you know, in the analysis, in the daily outlook, we were talking about it. You know, I had to consider this because this was the candle that with 1 minute left, 1.42 seconds left, that candle is breaking the current daily high. It's a must to continue looking for those moves, you know, but those things, like I said, don't get me wrong. Yeah, they're not going to be here every day, but when they're there, you need to take advantage of those moves. It's a must. Why, you know? Now, if you're selling the top of the range, I'm really sorry, you know. I'm just, you know, I don't trust those moves. I want to see the continuation. The momentum is to the upside. And we measure those candles. We even measured the 4-hour candle before, when that 4-hour candle was looking like a pullback before the continuation, right? This one right here, when that candle, maybe tomorrow when the daily streaming is uploaded to Vimeo, you will notice price was roughly there. I think it was, and the odds were that this candle will close like a bullish, more for a continuation. Look at that. Yeah, mate. Hey, my brother, where you been, man?
Yeah, I was somehow busy these days.
Oh,
How are you? Good.
Good, brother.
Yeah, I'm here and there, but I didn't have time for it. Chat and talk, you know.
Okay.
Yeah, I was trading, but not as before, you know. Yeah, I got in this move from 75.33, you know. It was beautiful. It was beautiful. And I closed it most of the position at 79.50. About 40 pips.
Oh, when the 10 a.m. candle come in play?
Yeah, I had
Okay.
plans to add buys after on the breaking of that one, but I couldn't enter. I don't know why.
You panic. Yeah, that's okay. Maybe you didn't trust the volume that we'll have outside this resistance area.
Exactly. Yeah, I didn't expect that much volume. It was crazy.
But this,
But my
yeah,
runner had 200 pips now. More
beautiful,
than-
man. Beautiful. That's great. That's great.
Yeah.
But here is the thing: when you have those kind of ideas, right? And this is what we said yesterday. Let me see the general chat. The general chat. We knew that the accumulation was heavy.
Yeah.
But once
Yeah,
prices,
you said so. Yeah, I saw that you said in the chat. Yeah. The accumulation heavy and the break would be enormous. Yeah.
exactly. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. So that based on that, you need to trust your analysis.
Yeah. I even want to put a buy stop, but yeah, because I get the slippage most of the
Yeah.
and then yeah, I said, oh, I will enter manually, and suddenly it burst.
Yeah.
But it's good. It's good. It's crazy. It's good. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it was yesterday that we were discussing that idea.
Yeah, I read that in the chat. Yeah, it's what's great. Yeah.
Okay, look. Yes, this 1680 resistance zone is stronger than anything. The accumulation is good because the day we get the breakout will be a heavy one, no matter what way we go. So far, 1660 and 1680 is the craziest range on daily.
Indeed, was a crazy range. Yeah.
Yeah, and this was the trade that I was having last night. You know, when the pullback happened, but I didn't want it. To be honest, let me move my TP in here. This thing it will continue blasting. It's 1700s there. So I didn't want to sell it. Period. Neither looking for a continuation to the downside this morning, even with the reaction on the daily and the kind of the easing session high. I didn't want it. I know that the one that made more sense was the continuation to the upside than just plain and simple rejection.
Exactly.
But you know,
Kevin, in my experience, when you have such a heavy weekly candle, okay, entering sales, oh yeah, it may play out, but it has a lot of rejections and a lot of pullbacks, and it is not easy to trade. So why you do that? No.
Yeah. Why going to the process of forcing anything?
Yeah.
What I see in price action, Reza, is where are my areas of reactions? Where are my areas of reactions from the downside, starting from scratch? This is my yearly low. That weekly closing like a king, engulfing all that previous weekly candle with news and all the stuff. This candle right here, a single piece of information that doesn't add up much to the back. The NFP. NFP is not FOMC. NFP is not CPI. NFP is not something crazy that gives you an overall bias for the rest of the week. How that daily from NFP close like a king, engulfing all these candles here, they look like shit. They look like goat shit compared to this elephant plaster of shit in here. It's a monster one. So why not trust in that move right there and just let it do his thing? Your job as a trader is looking where the bigger candles are. In my candles, this plenty of range in this candle engulfing all that zone over there is like, man, I have to continue looking for buys. If I look for sell, then I'm just playing, like a cowboy. And if I had to sell it at some point, I will have to make sure that I'm just selling for, hyper scalp 10, 15 pips, because that's what I have on the lower times. It says small candles going in one direction, right? A small candle, small candle, small candle. When you pull up the 15 and the 30s, those candles are looking massive compared to these creepy ass candles there. This candle here, massive. massive candles. This heavy correction, market opening, I didn't, never, ever expected that drop to happen, not even the gap to happen on market opening, because the way that daily closed, it was looking so amazing for that upside move that, man, it was a must. And yesterday I got caught on that move right there. And the first one, I'll say like roughly 3 pips or so. And the second one, like 10 or 11 pips in drag down, because I was looking for that breakout. Something that I didn't hesitate today to add that position at the break of the alert that it was triggered there. You know, this one right here. No, this is the November 7. Why is giving me the one that just got triggered not long ago? I was looking for that move. Breaking that area for me is a must to give it to you know, to add positions there. Why not? You know, but I did close. You know, I did close the other position, the shittiest position that I had. I did close them. I'm just running, you know, the other position. That thing. Imagine small runners. Those things right there. 620. Tell me, just getting stopped out with 10 pips, 15 pips. Those 10 pips looks like shit compared to those 600 pips. And it's a skill set. It's something that it will pay the bills. You know, I don't care if you're using penny lots or you're using big lot size or you're using you know, like 50 cents, whatever. But that gives you the idea. It's a skill set. It's being able to see those things before they happen. That's what marked the difference between you as a trader, someone who's approaching to the markets with a good with a perfect analysis, or someone who's just guessing, going for, you know, small pips here and there. When market is ranging, I have no doubt your safest bet is trade the range, sell the resistance, buy the support. But for the average trader, that's not the safest option. That's not the safest option. You need to see those things maximizing your profits, basically. And look, that 1700 now is looking like a kitten, like a small little cat in there. It's not doing anything against this massive momentum in the market. Maybe tomorrow CPI, maybe tomorrow give us that another $20-$30 correction, same that happened on previous CPI. But until then, I don't have information. The information I have is we have momentum to the upside, and I have zero business selling gold just because a 1 minute candle is giving me a confirmation or whatever. Right. What's the next target here? Do you think, Reza?
Kevin, I'm surprised this 700 didn't. We
didn't hold, didn't give us there yet. It's because the momentum, the accumulation in here has been so nasty and so aggressive that, man, that accumulation there, and people say whatever later on, you know, fundamentals will say, oh, because of the election in the United States. No, how could you manage to get into that kind of move before it happened? You know, did you did the homework? Did you know that having a 4-hour candle support from London is the safest bet? Yesterday, zero business for me selling gold. This candle here had enough information. Didn't play out yesterday. Yes. Let's say yesterday I ended up my day with 0.67, 0.76, something like that, dragged down for the day. I did good. I'm not gonna even tell you how much I did today because it's irrelevant. What is relevant is the information, and the information is there. Support, information support, candle, 30-minute candle opening there. Not a single, basically not pullback at all. This entire week fill, breaking that confirmation of support is going to the daily high. And this is your, you know, the lower times in there gave you that information going to that area. So it's just beautiful to see, man.
Yeah. Kerwin, I think yesterday that candle was like we expected that breathing candle. So
remember that, and you said it. Yeah, and you said it yesterday. Like having a bearish candle here, it will be just a breathing candle. The moment we have a break above the candle, it's gonzo. And you said it. Today was a little bit dangerous because the low of this candle, price didn't respect it. The low went for a little bit more of a pullback there, right? Like, but this is on a daily for the ones who plan for the FU candle. This is the perfect FU candle on a daily. The fuck you candle, the candle that tells you, oh, look for sales because respected the high and broke the low. But you are forgetting what you had on Friday here. You have to the left hand side, and you have zero business dealing with this monster candle there.
In even London session, we discussed that even we are breaking the daily low, we are still retesting this area to push to the upside.
Exactly.
Obviously, I not able to enter here because I already got my entry from the bottom, so I close most of my position at 1679.
But now you must be wondering, fuck, I should have added another position, even
Yeah.
a little tiny one, right? But we never expected that the volume will in one 5-minute candle will blast, almost $20 in there.
Yeah, I was waiting for one 5-minute candle to close above so I can enter again, but this massive candle just messed my entry.
Yeah. Yeah. I
Anyway,
have to
just
consider
work
it
out
because
that
I have
yesterday.
seen those things before, and I know that the stronger the resistance, the stronger the move. The
Yeah,
same
but
happened to the
our
downside.
plans still work out, but based upon yesterday candle.
Yeah.
I'm gonna head out, bro.
Yeah, no,
Good
me
job.
too, man. Me too. I'm pretty much done here. I'm gonna just let those positions run a little bit more and see what's gonna happen there. But yeah,
Boss, I have question.
Yeah, mate.
Few minutes back, you gave me one lesson about the price was struggling to break one key level, 1690, I think, or 16. On that time, you told that if 5 or 10 pips before 2 5-minute candle formed, so correction can happen.
Yes.
So now many key levels has broken. It reached to 1700 also. And
Yeah.
even
Seller's dream has been broken now. Go ahead.
Yeah, yes. So for my information purpose, I don't want to take position. What is the indication for correction move? For information only.
Okay. I don't care if you resell this information later on or you take it in advantage for you. But if you have something like this and you have a body of the candle that can close below that 1700, then wherever resistance has been established here can give you the overall, move to the downside there. A heavy correction CPI may be the one tomorrow. Today, don't do it. Don't do it. It's just that in the lower times when you have a resistance and the confirmation of resistance at the break of that low, you wait for the pullback, and that pullback needs to respect the confirmation of resistance high and breaking that low, and you go for it. But it's a dangerous game.
So
remember,
so
you're
key
basically
level is the
you're fighting in
so
here.
Key level is a basic thing.
Yes, but if you plan doing that, remember you're trying to fight against Donald Trump in here. Donald Trump most likely load his portfolio buying gold this morning. So you're fighting against Donald Trump. Be careful. Don't counter trend. I mean, if you have information, yeah, but at this point, there's no reason why. Instead of that, wait for pullback, support that be established, and look for that continuation. We may go, like I said, on the daily outlook and from Sunday and on the IG Live and everybody. This one right here. This kind of the target that makes sense for gold. And I've been telling you this. Don't ask me, oh, Kerwin, you're crazy or you're expecting too much, whatever, because fundamentalists are telling me that sell gold because, the dollar is strong across the board. Yes, I agree on that. But at the same time, since this is a beautiful structure, before that bloodbath in there, I want to say what's going to happen at this area here. And that's why I take advantage on the market, and very straightforward. Nice. But if you see 2 5-minute candles there, bearish candles, you have basically to measure the range. What makes this oh, wait 1 second. What makes this 1 second. What makes this valid, the correction valid, is that you have basically a clean range to trade to the downside, a massive one. But in this case, when price is giving you the resistance, confirmation resistance, if you wait for the next candle to break the low, this is your target. And this is when the price doesn't make sense for you to enter in a selling here using this stop loss 20 pips to target 17. That's when you don't want to consider those entries, right? So be really careful. Same in here, resistance, confirmation of resistance. If you're going to sell the low of that candle using this specific stop loss to target this previous reaction doesn't make sense at all. And I have to go, Aegis. We'll continue discussing those ideas. Just don't sell it, Aegis, please. I mean, if you have confirmation, you can try, but don't do it, man. Don't do it. Just wait for pullbacks. Support to be established and go for it.
I don't have any losses today. I don't want to make any loss. So I
Okay,
will not do
perfect.
it.
Thanks, Kerwin.
All right, Kerwin. See you tomorrow.
Okay, brother. Take
Goodbye.
care. See you guys tomorrow. Have fun.
Yes.
See you, Kerwin.
All right, brother. Hey, Ray. How was your day, brother?
Hey, it was good. I learned a lot.
You learned
and
something
I
new
have-
today?
Yeah, 100%. And I took a demo trade and it was good.
Awesome.
But I have some minor questions. Maybe
Go.
we can connect in a little bit.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that better?
Yeah. Yeah.
All right,
Yeah.
thank
I'm
you.
gonna get some
Okay.
breakfast. It's almost 10:30. So
All right.
yeah. Give me a
Yeah,
call.
hit me up later. Okay,
Yeah, give
I
me a
will.
call. All right,
All
brother.
right, thank you. All right, have a good one.
Take care, guys. Tomorrow. Oh, Paige, what's going on? Oh, Paige. Paige is here, or you already left?
No, I'm here. I'm still here.
I'm about to send the care package. Okay. It's
Oh,
gonna
okay. Yeah, thank you. Yeah,
it
thanks.
will be sent out today.
Okay, awesome. Thank you.
All right. Take care. How you been? Weather?
Yeah, pretty
weather
good.
is
I got
nice?
on late today and just managed to hop on that train and catch some pips. So it was good.
Oh, beautiful. That's great.
Yeah, yeah. I turned on the charts and I was like, what, it just shot off. So it was kind of cool.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Cool. All right.
Yeah, happy belated, by the way. Happy birthday.
Oh, thank you. Thank you so much. Yeah. It's been a good start of the month, let's say.
Yeah, nice birthday present. Yeah.
All right. Yeah, take care. See you
Yeah,
guys
thanks, Glenn.
tomorrow.
I'll see you.
All right.
Thanks, Gwen.
All right. Bye-bye, Lisa. Take care. Have fun. Okay. All right. Yeah. Bye-bye. Take care.